don't get the Beckett thing on it. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, for those of people who coming in, I was just showing Tyler something. And I'm not gonna show it right now because it's on my Monday mail call. But
Oh, so I got a sneak peek. I didn't know that.
yeah, I know, right?
That's exciting. Well, you
But
need to check out the Monday mail call because it's sweet.
and then I have I got a cut. I got a slab cut. I just got notified from Tony from EGS actually. Um, yesterday he pinged me. Of course, congratulating us all on C3, and he they had because EGS had donated some grading, which Nick Kicks and Comics won. Good for
Oh,
him.
nice.
And he's notifying me he was shipping out a slab to me to review. So I was like, I have stuff that I sent in there, but he's still sending me a free slab for
Well,
do a review on the new
we're
slabs that they got. So that'll be good.
if you really want, you could decide before you get it that you're going to give it away in like Slab Hub or something. That way, it
Oh, I
is
will.
like
I'm not gonna
or
keep it.
or keep it. But I'm just saying, like if I because I know you had said before that part of it is that you're getting for free, so you
Hmm.
didn't want to feel like you're mentally changing your mind on something
Right.
on a review. So that would be like
Yeah.
maybe
Well,
what I would do.
I'll definitely disclose that it came in, and I'll turn around and
Yeah,
get rid of
yeah,
it.
I know all
And
that.
give it. Yeah. So
It's more of the mental thing. It would be for
yeah.
me. It'd be like, oh, I got this for free. I should be nice.
Right. Well, and he
But
knows. I mean, we had a conversation about it. So look, I'm not, and he said, no, I just
yeah,
want to say,
yeah.
I want to get it to you so you can get it out there quicker. On your opinion. He's all, I'm confident. Well, cool.
Okay. I can't wait to see it. I'm super excited.
Yeah. But today'll be a trip. I'm gonna take a trip down to the post office. My my car is full of
I
packages.
I bet
Oh my goodness.
you should take a picture of it. Whole back, what like back
Well, the
seat,
back,
front
yeah,
seat.
the back of the car is full, and then the back seats, like I don't know, 70% full. I don't know.
That's
It's
pretty awesome of you, Rob. That's epic.
yeah, the back portion of the car is filled. I mean, granted, I don't have a huge car. It's not like I'm driving, not like I'm driving a Ford Explorer, right? I'm driving like a Subaru Crosstrek, so it's not like it's the most monstrous. But I mean, you can put several pieces of luggage back there, so it's reasonable. That's just filled with just priority boxes and stuff. So
I thought everyone in California had either a Tesla or just a two-seater.
yeah, well, I did have like basically a two-seater for a while, but
Yeah, so
I
I
mean,
was right.
I mean, it had a back seat, but I mean, it didn't.
Yeah, yeah. Not for humans to sit in.
Right, right, yeah. Dolls, maybe your dog,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Mad Spidey,
What's up?
What's going on, boys?
it,
Just
gobble
chilling.
gobble bitches.
So Green Machine and Chris and Maggie and Dale Beckerman, Alan Rue. What's up, everybody?
Right. No, we also live up in I live up in Northern California, so Subaru is pretty. I mean, it's not like Oregon and see where like whole or you go like Oregon, Montana, Idaho, um, that those areas where it snows quite a bit. Holy cow! When I drive around there, if it's not a full blown like SUV, it's like a Subaru. It's like because the all wheel drive is just like everybody has it for that purposes.
Yeah, I have that. I just got it for the first time, I think, ever in my life.
Hmm.
Somehow I've lived my life without four-wheel drive. It's rough in the winter in Indiana, but
Yeah,
Plowing
but
through all those cornfields.
yeah, that too.
yeah, there's definitely a lot of electric cars out here. That's for sure. I'm
Do
not
you
ready.
have like parking lots with electric car?
Hmm.
Yeah, well, we
Most
do
business,
not.
most big parking lots will have at least one or two charging stations now um, that are there. Although now it's not as bad as it used to be back in the earlier days. I remember like 7 or 8 years ago, the cars that were out there, the electric cars, so you'd start to, because that's when we started seeing electrification in some of the parking lots and stuff here in California, or at least in my part of California. And those cars, though, you had very short ranges, so you had to really kind of plug in when you went places to keep trickling off. Now, like the Teslas that are very popular, and even now the Chevy Bolts and some of these others, they have 200 plus mile ranges that they don't need to. And so when they go to the grocery store, or something, they don't usually plug in. It's like more like people I know who they drive to work. At work, we have a bunch of stations, and so they'll only charge at work. They won't charge at home. So
that makes sense.
so they use works electricity.
Yeah, why not?
Exactly.
I don't think there's a charging station anywhere near me. I don't think I've ever seen one, except for maybe in Indianapolis.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not too far from here. There's a big Tesla power station that that's like you go to the Target and there's like 20 superchargers or something set up, and usually they're people sitting out there. I don't get it, but no desire to pay that kind of money for
an electric vehicle to save the world,
or any car for that matter. To be honest with you, I have a mental limit when it comes to cars, but
Rob doesn't care about the world. Everyone,
I do my
confirmed today.
Yeah, it's true. I'm waiting.
I'm the same. I want to spend the least amount of money on a car possible, and I want it to run smoothly every time I get in. That's it. That is. I don't give a shit about my vehicle. I just want it to work properly.
Get me here to there, be functional.
Yep. If I could get like a $5,000 car that was promised to never break down in the next 5 years, I would get it. That would be my vehicle.
I'd like it to be comfortable. That's my problem. Is when I was younger, I didn't care as much. That's why I had some of the cars I've had in my past. But now that I'm older, the reason I got rid of my last one was because it was just not comfortable driving around on the roads out here and stuff, because they're not well maintained, or as well maintained as you'd like. So something that has a smoother suspension, smoother ride was important. But I get, when you start getting over 30,000 out the door, it's just ridiculous.
Yep.
In my opinion,
like most of them now.
That's exactly
standard.
Yeah, that used to be my limit. When I got this last one, it was like 32.
Yep.
But that was like I was trading in a car too, so I had like 18 grand. But so it wasn't as bad. But
Maggie says it's much different in Indy, which is the big city in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one at her apartment. There's only one though. Like, think about that. There's only one.
Yeah, I mean, look, you go down the road. I'm here in Silicon Valley. When you drive around, you're gonna come across a lot of Teslas. I mean, it's almost like that's the new BMW of the 80s, right? It was like in the 80s, everybody was driving a BMW to show you how cool they were. And around here, it's like that's what these tech guys do. They want to they think that that's like the mark of showing off to one another, I guess. It's like saying, "Oh, look, I got an ASM 300 and a 9.8."
Yeah, it definitely is.
But whatever.
Tesla is a status symbol for techie people, and it's like the newest iPhone. The people that buy the new iPhone day one.
I bet you there's probably not a Tesla owner who doesn't own an iPhone. That would make sense.
Yeah. I think it comes with an iPhone, doesn't it?
I think they have to use an iPhone to unlock your door, and there's no Android app.
I guarantee that's true. I bet my life on that.
Hey, Mad Spidey, you guys got any Teslas coming in down there?
Yeah, there's hardly any charging stations around at all. Because Beck and I have talked about it. She's like, if we all have to go to, because obviously a lot of countries nowadays are trying to, bring down their emissions and, try to go to this global warming stuff and that. And It's like I know she used to work near the Holden factory, which is a big car manufacturer here. And
GM.
they had one of the first ones in Victoria. They had one of the first charging stations, and even though there was no Teslas around, there was only like I think a prototype car around and things like that, but they had one. But now we've actually been going because we see Teslas everywhere now, but you don't see any charging stations around. So obviously everybody's got their home, 3-phase, battery setups at home and stuff like that. And he goes me with the electrical talk. But yeah, you don't see them around for just general public consumption. Like I think we've only seen them in like one place. And that's it.
Yeah, they're getting all over the place. I don't understand it. They're not cheap cars. I mean, that's a lot of money people are putting into a car.
No, well, I know that the base model here is about $50,000,
right?
For a base model.
Yeah,
that's.
So I
know my work just
25
worked.
Or 30.
My work, GM. I work at GM. Just worked into their new local contract to get charging stations. I want to say it was like 8 or 4 or something, but
GM's electrifying a lot of their fleet now.
Yeah, we're supposed to be an electric plant in like 2025 or 6. I don't know. That's probably not going to happen, but that's their goal.
Well, there's a lot of hybrid cars here.
Yeah.
So like the dual fuel
that's
sort of stuff.
It's the gateway drug. It's marijuana. That's what I say. It's the hybrid is marijuana. It's a gateway drug.
I would rather have a hybrid for sure.
Because where I actually work is we're right across from a Lexus dealership.
Right. Okay.
And, I see a lot of people buying the hybrids and all that sort of stuff. The people with money.
Sure.
But yeah, I just don't see the point of it, to be perfectly honest. Because Beck and I like to go for like long drives if we go interstate and stuff like that. 8-hour, 10-hour drives, things like that. If we go for a weekend away or a week away or whatever like that, they don't get the mileage.
Yeah.
Like you get 400 Ks, which is what, I don't know, what 250 miles.
Nobody knows what that means.
But you just don't get the mileage for it.
You can do stuff because I hear everybody tuned in to hear a comic discussion, and we've been going now for 15 minutes on cars, but that's okay.
No, this is a hangout. This
we're diverse. We cover a range.
This is this is refreshing, really. All we hear about is comics all week.
Yeah. So the oh god, now I forgot where I was going with this, but the
oh really? Because the state.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's tax. California does have some tax benefits. Plus, for a while, you used to be able to get stickers for your car that would allow if you had an electric car, you could drive in the high occupancy vehicle lanes solo, so you could bypass traffic. There was a big thing for a while with hybrids and some of the electric cars, but God damn it, what was the
if they got the mileage, I would see a better benefit to them. Day-to-day driving, it's okay.
They're getting pretty decent. I mean, I had a buddy of mine who's up in Canada, and he did a road trip. He came down. They drove the Tesla down, all the way, stopped by here, down to the Grand Canyon and back up. I mean, they're in the western part of Canada, but still, I mean, they took a long road trip, several thousand, probably over 10,000 kilometers. But they did have to map their route based on
charging stations
stuff, which is easier along the west coast of the United States.
Yeah,
because we tend to be greener, I suppose.
Yeah. California's living in the future.
Well, Oregon and Washington are there too, as far as some of that stuff. But California definitely, gets a lot of the attention because they're the big gorilla, because they are, essentially the seventh 7th largest economy in the world. So they get attention.
And that's probably the thing. Like, if I saw more charging stations around, or people saw more charging stations around, they'd be more inclined to go electric.
It's a chicken or an egg.
Yeah, and that's right. Like, if I'm like, I want to go to Sydney, that's a 9.5 hour drive. I can only see 2 charging stations like on the whole trip there. It's like, what's the point?
Yeah, that's weird. That's why one of the things that they're pushing here is, hydrogen, right? For the hydrogen fuel cell vehicles is availability, right? It's like you get it, but if you only fill up so many places or whatever, it makes it a hindrance. So you got to do it. It's, one of the things that they did. I remember Brazil when they they pushed a while back. I was reading they were switching, I think, to the some of the biofuels or whatnot. And one of the things that they did is basically the government made a requirement that if you had a fueling station, you had to supply this fuel. And once that was the requirement and the infrastructure was in place, then all of a sudden it became like, okay, then great. And that's what you end up almost having to do is you have to regulate into existence, say, look, this is where we're going to go, whether it's electric or whether it's high, green. Oh, Green's probably right. Electric cars will probably never replace everything, but that's where the thing is. For longer range stuff, the hydrogen fuel cells or whatever else, those may be the way that you look at doing stuff, but you have to have the infrastructure in place. It requires basically going out and passing laws that say, if you're going to sell petrol, you need to sell the hydrogen or whatever the source is you're going to do, right? So at least one pump worth. And then once that's there, then people can go, okay, anywhere I can pull up to get gas, I can pull up and get my hydrogen fueled up or whatever. Then that makes it a lot easier versus going, oh no, good luck with that, right? So,
and it's the old story of supply on demand sort of thing. You think if the demand was there, they'd supply all these fueling stations, and that's the thing. Like even here, where we're relatively old school with technology and things like that, I see so many Teslas around all the time, but I don't see any charging stations. It's like, well, what are people doing? Are they just doing day to day, normal sort of down the street to the shops or that sort of driving? Obviously, none of them are taking it on long distance trips because they can't really do it.
Right. Well, and for you guys, I mean, if you going anywhere is a long distance, so
yeah, and that's the thing. Like obviously around Melbourne and things like that, even sort of starting to go a little bit regional. It's not massive distance, but as soon as you want to go into state, forget it. It's like everything's minimum, 6, 7, 8, 9+ hours sort of thing to try and do that. And there is great spaces in between all the major cities.
A lot of nothing, yeah.
And Al Green, what you were saying about the where did it go? The electric trucks. So where I work, we make the GMC Sierra and the Chevy Silverado. And we're supposed to be doing all electric trucks, like what I said, 2025 or something. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are not happy about that at all, but apparently they're supposed to work and they're supposed to get good gas mileage and good torque and haul heavy shit.
Well, electric motors have the torque and have the.
You don't have to go. I mean, we talk about it all the time. Like I understand it, but people just don't trust it. Who buy trucks. I think that it's the mentality of the people that buy trucks. They don't trust it.
They want the gas guzzlers.
I don't know what it is, but simple, they don't like it.
I want big black smoke coming out of my truck.
Even though, hey,
you're right. That's how it is.
Your whole motor that's there is generating electricity.
Yeah, you don't have to explain it to me. I get it. Like we talk about it a lot, and I think it'll work out. But it's more than it working. People have to be sold on it.
Well, that's why you see the stuff with people rolling by with their diesels and blasting people, Tesla owners. Well, don't get upset with them.
Yeah, that's
but it's like that's the thing I never understood. Like I see people all the time, like they're dumping their diesel exhaust onto the Tesla cars, or making a point of blocking Tesla charging stations or something. It's like, just because somebody else has chosen an electric car doesn't mean that you have to take it out on them for your decision that you don't care for that. That's fine. That's your don't buy one. Nobody at this point in the stage, this is in America, nobody has put a gun to your head and said you must own an electric car. You have no choice. So you know what? Don't get bent over it. And it's
it's like what you said, Rob. It's like the electric cars at the moment for us are for people that have money, because it's like as you said, like the Beamers in the 80s and the 90s and stuff like, and the Mercedes and stuff like that. Like the Tesla is the new Lexus or Beamer or Mercedes. If you got one of them, you've got money,
right?
Because they're not anywhere near cheap.
Exactly. That's what I can imagine, because between imports and everything else, we have like California set up that whatever the law passed not long ago that we have to be no more internal combustion motors or engines, basically cars will be sold after a certain date in the future here.
Yeah, I want to say that's like spreading across the country.
Well, it's one of those things that like again, this is one of those things why California gets a lot of resentment.
There's a lot of reasons for that.
Well, yeah, but what happens is they decide to do something, and it ends up spreading because, well, first of all, the West has some like-minded mentality to begin with on what they do, but then what ends up happening, it's just as a manufacturer, like if you're General Motors, and now you've got this regulation in, again, the 7th largest economy, plus then starting to spread in some of the neighboring ones. Are you going to produce something special just for them? Are you going to shut them off from your marketplace and eliminate such a large market? Or are you just going to go ahead and start producing the vehicles, whatever, to meet that market? Well, once you start doing that, then the economy of scale is, well, if I got to make them for this, I might as well make them elsewhere and start moving them out and moving them to different places, because it's too expensive to run a separate plant just to supply, California and Europe or whatever. And that's the thing, is Europe is also along a lot of those same lines anyway. So so then all of a sudden it forces the auto manufacturers, and then forces everybody else to have to adopt a certain thing, which is like bullying.
Yeah, but it's just the wave. It's the thing. It's the fad. It's everything, and people are all about this shit.
I think it will come to a head, though, that a lot of countries are going to try some form of you can't have a car. It's like, because Japan does that. Japan doesn't allow people to own a car older than 5 years old. So eventually,
really? I didn't know that. That's crazy.
It's going to eventually be that's why, like, especially in the 90s and the early 2000s, a lot of the what we call hoons, or the car heads, the gearheads and stuff over here, would import all these the turbo Japanese cars when you first get your license, and that I want to race people and be an idiot because you're young and you want speed. But because they were cheap, because Japan would just get rid of them because of the 5-year thing. But I think with the electric cars, eventually some countries will try and implement something like that. Saying, okay, well, because they did it with leaded petrol. They eventually got rid of leaded petrol.
Right.
Everything has to be unleaded, or like actual gas, not what you guys call gas, but actual gas. I think it'll become like that with the electric stuff too.
Yeah. Well, I really like so the conversation is great in the chat here too. Electric trucks. I mean, obviously, if you are hauling a load, I can't click on anything to highlight these things. I'm looking at Jason, but obviously, it's your motors. You're under load. Your electric motors do drain quicker, so there's potentially some issues there. Sound is an issue. Yeah, I mean, there's some people where sound is part of the driving experience for certain things when you're doing it. If you're just tooling about town, I don't think it much is, but when you're driving for other things, it is. I know that was one of the reasons I would love when I used to have my Abarth. When I had replace the blow off valve and some of the other stuff, and would love to go drive up in the mountains with the windows all down and stuff, so you could really hear the turbo spin up and hear the blow off and all that. Yeah, all that stuff was exciting as all hell. And it would actually, like, one of the reasons I ended up getting rid of the car was it would cause me, I drove like an asshole because the way the motor would wind up as it was building up. You'd get all excited and you start getting more aggressive as you're driving it. And this was actually a study that they did a parallel study with this on police officers and stuff, and how as the siren pitch would go up, their foot would tend to go down on the pedal more, and as it comes back down, so it was the same thing with, like, when you're winding out that motor, you're starting, So I get it with electric motors. You don't have that stuff. All you got is, like, when you're driving through the neighborhood, the little fake sound that they're making, so that way deaf people don't get mowed over. And then semi-trailers, tractor trailers and stuff, that's a whole different ball of wax. I don't know that electrification of those are necessarily, the amount of batteries and stuff that they would have to haul would impact their load carrying capacity for what they're doing. So I think that there's definitely got to be some other path that they go down with tractor trailers. I don't, not being a mechanical engineer or vice versa, that I don't know what that answer is, but I would imagine that battery power is not the long-term solution or a solution for that. But unless the tractor trailers were able to get using induction to take electricity out of the roadway. But
that'd be cool.
Yeah, could you imagine the expense of electrifying our America's highways? We can't even pave a damn highway interstate, let alone maintain an electrical
grid. Yeah, because
grid.
that's on the state.
Honest, California can't even maintain an electric grid. What makes you think we can maintain electric roadway?
Do you feel that the electric grid problem is? Do you think the electric cars have any kind of part in that, or do you think it's just that?
No. The electric issue in California really has to do with several things. One is deregulation of the power industry allowed them to focus on profits first, and they deferred maintenance, and in turn create profitability. And that's why now we're seeing, like, so many electric fires and stuff that are forest fires, stuff that happen that are turn out they're caused by electric lines and whatnot, because they don't maintain their old. They haven't been maintaining stuff and haven't been doing all stuff, so that impacts stuff. California's growth has outpaced its infrastructure growth, so we're putting heavier reliance on smaller grids, and then at the same time they went through process of there was a transition period as they were switching to more and more green energy, where the stuff from hydroelectricity, we have problems. We have a lot of hydroelectric, which right now, as you go through droughts, your hydroelectric capacity diminishes because if there's no water behind the dam to generate the power, then you start having diminished power. There's a lot of solar plants that are built up, and people get all like, oh, well, that's a problem. What happens at night? Well, they have battery. The solar plants build up. They basically charge up big batteries and stuff, as well as generating live, and then they provide power into the evening and then recharge the batteries and stuff. But that technology has improved, which has helped to stabilize some of that. But it's just a combination of infrastructure maintenance, demand, as things have gotten warmer, as there's more people and everything else, it becomes a thing. And we went through this winter or this summer, there was no rolling power outages and stuff. They they did ask everybody to conserve, but
nobody ever does.
Yeah, but no, they do. But I mean, the thing is, we also have, we're still in a situation now where you have a lot more people who are working from home. Plus, you still have these office buildings that were built for high occupancy that they're still up and running. And then, like, where I'm at, I could take you to a place where you'd go by building after building after building, and there's maybe only 2 or 3 people that work in those buildings. And it's not because they work from home. It's just because there's nothing but server farms. And those server farms have to maintain air conditioning and all these other things and stuff in order to, it is literally the beginning of a place where machines exist, and the people that work there are there just to help to keep the machines alive and happy. It's like, what do you do for a living? Well, I serve the machine.
So, Rob, you said you had a friend that owns a Tesla. Do you happen to know like how much does it cost? What's the monthly cost on charging that vehicle?
Oh, I have no idea. Because
that's what I'd be interested in finding out.
Yeah.
Like, how much does your electric bill go up because you own an electrical vehicle? And does that counteract? Is it cheaper than gas?
Right. That's the eternal question, right? And I think it depends on how much you're charging it at home versus at public charging stations, right? Because some of there are public charging stations, like when you go to San Francisco, where you're paying anyways. Like you pull up there and it's like you have to like pay to charge, and
you have to like put in your credit card.
Yeah, essentially. But down here where it's not, well, that's San Francisco. San Francisco is you're fine because you're paying for that parking spot anyways, because they're super, there's
bougie.
Well, no, it's not even as bougie. It's just there's just not enough parking for cars up there. I mean, it's really you shouldn't be driving around the city. But down here, there, like if I owned one, for example, and I was driving to work, I wouldn't charge at home because I can park it, because my work has like 40 fucking charging stations. So I can just charge at work, why should I use mine here? If I was here, I know like my parents have an electric car, or I guess they actually have, they don't have all electric. They have 2 electric hybrids. But they charge up, they have solar panels and stuff, and that's, a lot of us have solar and everything else, but so I don't know. That's a good question though.
They may be bankrupt, but I still drink them.
There you go.
I think it also depends. I don't know. I'm not obviously how your, like I know electricity works all the same way, but all different voltages over the world and stuff like that. But I know that Tesla's here that when you buy one and you get the home charging station, you can either get it set up for a single phase charging or a 3-phase charging. And obviously 3-phase is quicker, but it physically draws a hell of a lot more power.
Right.
So you will be paying a lot more per kilowatt and things like that as well. So,
well, you're paying the same per kilowatt, but because that's how you get billed, is by the kilowatt. Right?
Yeah.
So, but it's just drawing more faster in a shorter period of time.
Yeah.
That's
it'd be interesting, but I don't know how, like, you'd have to really do the math if you wanted to go that sort of in depth into it.
Yeah, my understanding is that supposedly they say it's cheaper, and I think it also depends on where you're at, what your rates are, right? So for me, in Santa Clara, where I live, it's super cheap because we have our own municipal power, and our power is very inexpensive compared to all the cities surrounding us. That's why actually we have some, I say, like, I can drive you to all these server farms. It's because a lot of them build them here in our city because our power is cheap, and it's actually most of the time when other people have power outages, we don't, because we have our own city power stations. But aside from that, yeah, I would imagine it's potentially more. I mean, the power here is so cheap that when we had the solar installed on our house, it wasn't that much of a cost return, or the amortization took much longer.
So you have solar panels on your roof?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Is that common there? We
yes.
don't have that really.
It's very common.
So
because not only do we have a lot more sunshine, but there was a lot of incentives and stuff that were done not only from the federal government on your taxes, but also from the state government subsidized. And it's to the point now where solar really grew a lot, where there's a lot of companies that you can essentially have them come out and they'll install the solar at no cost to you. And instead, what they did, so when I got mine early on, it was you paid up front, you paid for the solar, and then you
got a kickback.
You saved over time, and you got these federal incentive and state incentives in your taxes.
Same here. Yeah.
Right. And then eventually you started getting to the point where now there's a lot of power companies going there. Basically, they'll come in and they'll install them for free. And it said basically start paying. You're paying them an electric. You pay them basically an electric rate or something. So, so they get their money over time or some kind of weird thing like that.
If it works,
or you sign over incentives and stuff, or both, or
because if it works anyway, like because from what I know of our sort of system is that obviously it takes some off there, but if you feed some into the grid, it will actually
roll your backwards.
You'll start getting the bigger rebates and things like that instead of like basically hogging it all for yourself.
That's what we have. So that is one of the rules in California that was in place. So there's essentially during the day when I'm generating electricity, if I generate more than I'm consuming, it because of my house is connected to the grid. I'm then feeding my electrical system's fed back in the grid. Then it goes out, and I actually have two. I get two statements.
Get paid for that.
I do. So I get two statements from the electric company, right? I get my normal electric bill, and then I get the other one, which is my generation statement, how much, how much is anything that they're paying me or into that credit and stuff. But so there's less of that going on now. I think more people, what they're encouraging people are doing is they're setting up power banks instead. So people are getting like the Tesla home power banks. So what you're doing is your excess electric, you're using solar generation, you're charging your battery essentially, and then you're running off that during the evening when you're not running, which is actually better in the long run because it's then you're consuming less throughout because you have you're storing your excess generation and you're using it when you need it when you can't generate. Right. And you also have the
grid.
Well, you get that, but more importantly, like I said, it's lessening your impact. If the peak hours they say for electric generation is in the evening when people are getting home and doing all these things, there's less and you're getting less power generation. So it reduces the impact on the grid overall by having that. And then also that gives yourself an isolation platform where in the event of power outages, whatever, you can still power your home or whatever from that.
Whereas in my generator.
Right. Whereas in my situation, because I'm directly connected to the grid on there. My excess power generation is going into during the daytime is going out into the grid, which can help to benefit the need to generate elsewhere. I become a public solar panel power generator of green energy for everybody. But in the evening, I become a burden on everything else. Also the problem is because I'm connected live to the grid, if the power goes out, in order for line safety, the way the relays are set up is that if there's no power coming in to the meter, it shuts off disconnects my solar panel from the grid for obvious safety reasons. If a lineman was shut off power to a neighborhood because they're going to do line work, they don't want people solar generating, sending 220 volts and stuff down the line and watching people fry. Right. They need to know that a line is dead. So it's interesting. I'm glad that you're enjoying it there, X11. Yeah, it is a little bit different.
I think he was talking about the Morgan Freeman.
Well, I'll take it. I'm going to take it as he was talking about us in this show. Absolutely.
But speaking of shows, did you guys watch the Star Wars show this week?
Hell yes.
What Star Wars show?
Andor.
That's actually not what I was talking about.
You're talking about the Jedi Tales.
Yeah.
I watched the first episode, and it's interesting. I'm curious to go back and watch the others. But
tell us about Andor because I didn't watch that. I gave up on Andor.
Dude, I haven't even finished Boba Fett yet.
I know that a lot of people are not like digging Andor apparently, and it's not an action-paced movie or whatever. Much like Rogue One, there's a lot of groundedness in of taking Star Wars and bringing it down to the ground and not necessarily a giant battle stuff out there. You need a theme song. I have an intro.
I'm not Chip. I'm not Chip.
I'm not Chip. Chip has no intro music. That's more Chip song. But the Andor, I'm loving it. As someone who's like into Star Wars, I love a show like Andor that is taking doing a lot of world building. It's really showing you the very inception of the rebellion, that is the whole premise of Star Wars, right? We've already established in Star Wars Rebels the cartoon where this is happening basically like middle of the run of Rebels, right? Kind of almost in parallel. And that show had set up that at this point in time, here were these individual kind of like little rebel cells that were maybe existed very early, not a lot of people going into it. And here you have people who are trying to sit there and say, hey, look, we need to start to come together. We need to try to unite this, but we need to grow. And really having those conversations, look, we need to do things that are going to piss off this government, to cause them to crack down, to cause more people to be upset so that they'll be willing to join our cause. Because that's one of the slips of tyranny, is under the guise of protection, is that people go and we've seen it here, we've seen it other places where people are willing to give up mistakenly. They, under the guise of protection, will start to give up some of their personal liberties and whatnot.
Yeah, like
and
guns or
any number of things,
yeah.
right? You just kind of you slowly start to do it, and eventually it starts.
You're muted, Alan.
People start to wait. I think he's talking to somebody else.
Okay, sorry.
At work. So because he's not looking at us.
Yeah.
So as eventually it gets to a point where then you have to get to a point where people start to then wake up and go, wait a second, what happened? How did I get here? This is wrong. Now we have to rise up, right? And so you see kind of a combination of different things that are going on here. You have the Senate talking about, you have Mon Mothma and trying to do stuff in the Senate, trying to do stuff like, hey, rise up. But people are telling her, like in this week's episode, she's talking to different senators and they're talking about this upcoming bill to try to rein in the emperor and his new rules that he's passing, saying that they're too over. And you hear this conversation where people talk about, well, if you're not doing anything wrong, what do you have to worry about? Or, which is one of those great justifications you get, or going, saying, well, but we're getting security and everything else. And, yeah, well, people can be really secure as long as you're the person that's being protected. And that's where we kind of see the irony in this week's episode and even previous week's episode Andor, where, yeah, okay, he's done stuff, right, that would be a crime against the Empire. But he gets picked up and arrested. He's not doing anything. He just happens to be in the wrong place, right, wrong time. Gets no trial, no nothing. It's instant authority going, nope, our authorities say that you were doing something, therefore 6 years in prison. Boom.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
And so now he's inside of an imperial prison, and we're seeing what that's like. And so I find it really fascinating, along with some of the stuff. It's just, to me, this show is so good. But I can understand why, if somebody wants a Star Wars pew pew action thing, this is not your thing. This is a lot more of the intrigue and the world building stuff, similar to Phantom Menace, where we really kind of laid a lot of the groundwork of, how deep is this plot to get us to a certain point and trying to build these worlds.
I don't know. So I gave up on it, but I didn't really hate it. But I just felt like for the first 3 episodes, I want to say I even started the 4th episode. That was a little over 2 hours in. It was just too slow. Like we just weren't going anywhere. We started off, I don't need the action. I just want a plot. I wanted to move, and it was not moving at all for me.
Yeah, I mean, the way they dropped the 3 together, they definitely had to do that. It was definitely slow, but looking at it from where I'm at in the story now, again, it's more the world building and building him as a character, giving us a full story, more of a full story, and understand where is he coming from. But a lot of that stuff that they set up in those first few episodes not only does it move to get him where he's at now, but there's a whole separate side plot that's going on right now where with the Imperial intelligence and these trying to connect the dots and them coming to the realization that this isn't just one insulated incident here and one isolated incident here, but in fact, this is a very coordinated effort that has spreading out their stuff to make them look like random insulated stuff, but is really much more a greater rebellion that the Imperials don't even understand. So, I mean, what was established is why it's so good, is because you didn't understand it at first, and that can be a hindrance to the show. Fully get it, but if you stick to it, I think it's absolutely amazing because it brings it all back together. It's one of those shows that's just.
I think you've convinced me. I'm gonna go back, and because I'm really not that many episodes behind, like 2.5 or something.
Hey, well, they just did episode 8.
Okay, so I'm more than I thought it was. but either way, I can knock that out in an afternoon or some late night when I'm awake and Lisa's not. But yeah, I'll give it another shot.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like it's like the first 5 episodes are a bit more of a grind to get through. But
yeah, well, I'm already mostly through those, so
right.
That means I only have an episode and a half of more grind, and then sounds like
it's still never really like is firing like constant action, but it's an intrigue type, spy type thing. So it's not going to be nonstop wham bam, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, and I definitely don't need that. Another thing, Andor just doesn't interest me too much as a character. He doesn't
care. He's what's moving us somewhat around. I'm far more intrigued with some of the plots that are going outside of his storyline, right? The storylines that are going on right now with some of the rebel cells that we're starting to get introduced to. We see Saw Gerrera show up, and stuff with him. The stuff with the Imperial intelligence and what they're doing and stuff. It's really interesting. A cool modern capitalist hippie. If
I don't know what that even means, but that's wonderful.
I do. You know what? It's kind of like a mix. I understand it. I grew up I identified as a Republican for a very long time. I would never consider myself Democrat. I'm not a registered Democrat stuff, but
in California, they have those.
I know it's true. Well, as a California Republican, that's like a Texas Democrat.
What?
So it's like I want my guns. I'm a very independent, middle of the road. I consider myself fiscally conservative, but I tend to be a little more socially liberal than I used to be. But I still fall back on old mentalities. I have to fight my my gut instinct is very 50s, 60s mentality. And then I have to pause for a moment, let my brain catch up as my younger kids remind me that I'm an old fuddy-duddy with outdated ideas, I guess, sometimes.
I don't know. I think today's ideas don't line up with things a lot.
No, I don't think so either. I think there's a good balance, right? And I think that's where I'm really kind of I really believe that the biggest problem, without getting into a big rant, I really think that the problem is that we are not a simple left or right. We really are a majority of a population that's somewhere in the middle, and people vary in different scales, and that because we're forced into extremes, it becomes this us versus them.
Yeah,
right. It becomes an us versus them rather than the reality of coming together in the middle.
Exactly,
and finding the common ground, which is why I'm actually. Yeah, I'm definitely not a hipster.
When it comes to politics, especially like when it all started, like back when George Washington, there was more than 2 parties. And I've always said this, there needs to be more than 2 people running for president that actually can do it. There was the Whig party, and I want to say there was another party that I always forget.
Well, there are several. Yeah.
And
there's several.
That needs to happen again.
There's several parties today. The problem has been that over time the political parties have grown in power, and they've actually set up the system in a way that rigs it for them and
Yes, of
prohibits other
course.
parties from being involved.
Yeah.
Up until recently, right now, today there's only 2 states that still follow this, but up until recently, when you went and did the electoral college, it wasn't an all or you win all or nothing. It was done based on districts, right? And there's still 2 states to this day that do this, where you win a district, that's what you get, and then so you district by district, the state can be split on its electoral votes, and and whoever wins the most districts
You
gets
can
the
win like
gets the extra
5
2
and the other
senatorial
person
votes,
gets
right?
3 or something.
Right. And that's how that would completely change politics today, right? But the political parties have built up into a situation where they've taken control and put in these laws that made it these all or nothings, built up the gerrymandering, built up the system to today where you talk about, when you listen to the politicians talk, especially at the federal level, it's not about their state, which they're supposed to be representing. It's not about us, the people they're supposed to be representing. It's about their party. And you see, and all they do is
Yeah, it
rally as a
really
party,
is.
to the point where,
I'm with
even
you,
like
Lady Fantastic.
in the last 15 years or 20 years, you've seen now, you hear stories that like Republicans and Democrats aren't even allowed to like caucus together. Like their parties keep them separated, and it's completely atrocious. So
here we are, Marcus. You were talking yesterday on Two Nerd Dads about how you were so into politics, and then it made you like mad, and it made you like, I don't know what's the word you use, like an angry person, basically. And here we are talking about politics, but I feel like in a very different way.
I think I'd rather listen to wrestling than politics.
But I would say we're not talking about politics like I hear other people talking about politics, where it's like my way or the highway, and you have to believe. That is just not how I think at all. Recreational outrage. That's what you said.
We lost the sense where the politicians serve the people, and we've gotten to a situation where it's
100%.
The politicians serve the political party.
I never thought I'd agree with someone in California, but
yeah,
here we are. Rob and I are on the same team, and I never expected it.
Like, I'm a member of a political party that's basically their platform is "Don't be a dick." To be honest, I mean that's essentially when you read their party platform, it's essentially, dude, we don't believe in like, oh, we're for abortion or not. No, we're about having a discussion and about doing something. Just don't be a dick with each other. Come on, guys.
Yeah, I agree with this. And not a career. It should never be a career. People shouldn't be having anything for more than, I don't know, 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, any individual position probably. I mean, look, there's and the reasoning for that, I understand. It takes a time to understand how government works, but that's only because government is so become this system of, wackiness and craziness and whatnot. And I don't know. It's just, I don't see that there's ever going to be a solution, unfortunately, and it's just a matter of time, right? It seems like, but I could be wrong. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll wake up and we'll get a third party in there or something that's viable. That would be the single biggest thing that could happen for this country and change the mechanisms, to me, in my mind, is having a viable third party where no party can just simply go, okay, we have the majority, and they actually have to come together and form coalitions and force them to have to kind of work together in order to get things done, as opposed to simply stand by political ideology, which it is today, where it's like, okay, our party's in the majority, we ram it through, while the minority just does everything it can do to raise up roadblocks until it switches, right? Yeah, sure. I'm not even going to argue with Lady Fantastic. She's absolutely right. Some of those conversations don't belong. I don't think are regulated things that should be regulated. So they're definitely not regulated fairly. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's an interesting conversation. I'd love to actually have it with people. It's hard. It's hard to because people get very upset. But
right.
I think there's a lot. There's some. I understand some things on one side, but I agree with the other side, which is basically Lady Fantastic side.
Yeah, well, right, because you don't want to go down the road of situations or something. But sometimes what I think the mentality is, you have to kind of say, just because you don't agree with something doesn't mean that you need to regulate it away from everybody, right? It's kind of some, and that's not just the topic of abortion or anything else. That just kind of goes unilaterally. Just because I personally don't care for something or believe in something or go along with something, then great. I don't have to do it. It doesn't mean that I have to go, well, like Mark decides to be a vegetarian. It doesn't mean that he, that's his choice. He can do that absolutely fine. And he accepts the fact that, I eat a lot of meat. He's not going to go put laws into place that, I believe that vegetarianism is best, therefore we're going to regulate that everybody should eat vegetables and no meat. That's just insane.
I just do the opposite. I just eat all meat and no vegetables.
Well, that's because you're a secondhand vegetarian.
Rob does too.
Yeah, secondhand veganism. I only eat animals that eat plants.
Yep.
No, I just call myself a carnivore.
Well, you could do that, but I like to make it sound like look,
that you're trying. You're almost
here's
vegan.
Have you ever seen a lion graze in the savannah? You know why? Because it's fucking higher up on the food chain. Speaking of vegetables, and here he comes.
I don't know if that's a reference to him eating or
probably both,
or sleeping late.
Good for him. He looks bright-eyed, bushy-tailed.
Do I?
We've had an interesting hour.
No, you still look half asleep.
Great hour of conversation, Mark. You can go back and rewatch it.
There you go. Thank you, Lady Fantastic.
We should be between man and his doctor.
Anyways.
What's up, Mark?
So far, we've been talking about electric vehicles and political parties. Nothing that's
and some Star Wars.
Yeah,
that sucks, man. I like the fun conversations. Me, I like this. I like to talk about the shit you ain't supposed to talk about.
Yeah, we've done
it in actually a non-offensive way. I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's been a great conversation.
Well, somebody message Pocan and we'll move straight to religion next.
Oh, no, don't. Please don't. I'll be going to bed then.
I'll light the candles and call the corners.
Yeah.
Oh, but about the Tales of the Jedi, since we didn't get into that too much, that was seriously fun. I think 5 of the 6 episodes were legitimately great.
Lisa was animated anthology show.
Yeah, so it's just like one-offs, basically.
They're 15-minute little
10
short
to
stories,
20 minutes, basically. And the last episode, Lisa was like yelling the whole time, telling me the backstory. Really? Yeah, because apparently there's an Ahsoka book, and this is straight from the novel, and she's read it. So she was telling me, "Oh, this is from my novel. No way!" She was like, "Oh my god, this is gonna happen." She was freaking out, and it was amazing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Lady Fantastic, I'm broken and damaged from many things that were promised to me in the future. I don't have jetpacks and flying cars and sidewalks that move me from one place to the other so I don't have to walk. Why is it that I have to walk everywhere and we haven't developed freaking motorized walkways everywhere?
You can go to the airport and just stay there on that one track.
Right, but then if you do that, and everybody gives you the stink eye because you're just standing there letting the sidewalk move you as they're hustling by you. You're like, "Oh,
dude, I'm that person." I'm like, why would you even get on this if you're not going to try to move faster?
Because I'm tired of walking and I don't want to walk, man.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
I just want to feel super fast.
Yeah, I'm the same way, Mark. But at the same time, there's some people that can't walk very far, and there is a long walk at some airports.
Oh my god! When I go to Arizona, well, when I go in,
people that aren't on it, like as you're walking and you just look at them.
Yeah. Fucking just
when I go to Phoenix in the Phoenix airport, the way that the connections always are, I'm at the farthest ends, and it's 4 terminals, and it's something like 2 miles. I want to walk in. I don't want to walk that.
That is far.
And
teleportation, mind control, energy blast. This is what we need. After seeing what happened to the
Emperor Scrooge.
Fly with Brundle. Like I'm good on teleportation. I think I'll pass. I'll settle for a hyperloop.
You're okay. The Fly. I was like Emperor Scrooge. You just see your own butt. Yeah.
I like my butt, Rob. I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, but then having to give yourself a reach around just to go to the bathroom.
You don't do that?
No, I don't.
Oh, wow. That's part of the way that I keep my figure.
Well, there you are.
You got to stay flexible.
Sometimes you got to know how to hold it and know when to fold it.
Matt Spidey, are you getting these? Did you already get them?
No, I haven't spoken to my pop guy yet. I got to find out whether he
Collector Corpse. Do you get those?
Like Justin Bieber? Your pop guy?
Pop guy, yeah.
Pop vinyl guy.
Oh, toy. Your toy distributor.
Yes. He gets
JT was my pop guy growing up, old Justin Timberlake.
Oh, so I was at
I forget. I don't know. Wait, when you're growing up, I was like, oh, that's right. I forget how much younger than you.
I was trying to keep it relevant still. Justin Timberlake. That was up.
I was at a store the other day, and behind the counter they have all their pops, and they had all their pops turned this direction. And I walk over there, I can't look at any of the pops, and so I had to go get somebody to show me pops. And I was like on the way, it's like, why don't you have them turned the other way so I could actually see these pops? And the one he pulled out that I wanted was not the one I wanted because I had a sticker and it was metallic. I was like, see, this is exactly why you need to turn all your pops back. I just wasted my time and your time.
That's the next one that he said is coming in. There's the 5-pack of all the from that weird storyline with Prodigy and Ricochet and
so annoying.
All those ones.
Pop guy was friends with Scott Key. Yeah, thanks, Scott. Yours too, buddy.
The Star Spangled Banner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Granted, he just wrote a poem, and later on they put it to music. But
he wrote it from jail too.
His was Mozart. Nice.
Scott with the historical jokes. Nice.
He's saying that we're old.
Yeah,
it's true, but
that's not as old as Scott. But yeah,
no, we earned it. That's why I say when people say something about my hair, my white hair, I say, oh, I earned it. That's all right.
Yeah, exactly. X11.
Anywho.
Oh, I finished House of the Dragon this week too.
I tried to catch up on it. I'd watched 4 episodes and I turned it on because I was going to turn it on while I worked. And I'm like, dude, I'm so tired this week that I can't multitask like I usually do.
You can't even watch boobies.
Did you see that clip that I shared yesterday, Rob, with the Arnold Schwarzenegger face over
yes.
from Titanic?
Yeah,
I did not. No.
Oh my God.
I want you to draw me like one of your French girls.
But
wearing this.
Because it was the same dialogue until the end. In the end,
it was amazing. I shared it to Lisa and she was like laughing hysterically in the other room.
Died laughing when I got to the end of it. I'm going to send it just directly to you, Rob. I don't know if
it is incredible.
It's really short, but dude,
I don't know how somebody did that so well. I'm impressed.
Oh my goodness!
I finished House of Dragons on Wednesday. Yeah, that was
check that out.
Of course,
real quick.
Huge cliffhanger.
Yeah, for sure. It was a great finale. It was great. Honestly, the whole season was great. I said the last 3 episodes specifically were the best because they were back to back to back, and there weren't like 4 years of a time jump. We had to figure fucking shit out for 45 minutes, and then stuff happened. I wish they would have done that all season. It was a great season, but that needed.
Well, I think we're going to have another time jump next season. I mean, it's going to happen in the middle because you're talking. They want to get it all the way up to Game of Thrones, and I don't know why.
That's fine, but let's slow play it, man.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to see young Rhaenyra more. She was amazing,
I could have
and
did a whole season with that. Because like that's where I am. I'm like I'm invested in those characters, and now I'm like that's all I get of them.
yeah, that was definitely disappointing. It's still been very good. I just don't think the time jumps were necessary. It's especially for Game of Thrones that goes so slow. Why did we have to go fast?
Look at my
Why are you
boobies.
putting that wrong? Oh, is he? Oh, yeah.
I'm waiting on that moment. Rob's
Look at my
watching
boobies,
it,
Jack.
I hadn't watched it yet, and I'm like, oh,
Dude,
my God.
how good is that? What's up, Dave? What's up, Chop?
Hey, Dave. Hey, Chop. Look at my boobies, Jack.
Yeah. A little warmth and compassion never hurt anybody. I'm with you, Lady Fantastic. So be nice to me. That's what that means.
The political party. Be nice. Don't be a dick.
I don't know. Yeah. Some people have weird kinks, Lady F, and then they would treat people like they want to be treated, and we'd be right back to where we started.
Treated like you want to be treated in public, not necessarily which you want to be treated in the bedroom.
Also, no, that's what I'm saying. Is that how you want to be treated, Lady Fantastic?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, good times.
Awesome. I started dropping links, but I didn't drop any of the other guys.
What was interesting, though, was earlier Mad Spidey was asking for wrestling talk. Can you believe it?
No, I said I'd rather listen to wrestling talk than
see
politics.
Right there. He said he'd rather listen to
wrestling. Yesterday, I got caught up on. I'm caught up on Stargirl now. I'm caught up on wrestling.
Is that
now.
Finished? Is that Stargirl finished now? The season finished, or it's still going?
Yeah, it was like the mid-season extravaganza kind of thing. They don't gap out, but you can tell this season's structured to have two rather large like story plots instead of just one beat to hell one, which that's one cool thing.
Are they doing two separate or two intertwining? Or you don't know?
It comes together like butt cheeks, and we even dealt with this element that was introduced and like really developed last season that we finally play out this season, which was awesome. It's what people have been watching it, been waiting for, kind of thing.
Come together like butt cheeks. There's like a big divide down the middle, and it stinks in their middle. I don't know.
No, I think two different people.
It's a source. It's a source of crap.
It's like two different people.
Sing the friction, Rob. That shit was fire. It was,
yeah.
Oh, it's like fat butt cheeks.
No. Yeah, it was dope. And then I watched wrestling. It was also my anniversary last night. I stayed up late doing your shit. Me and my wife been married for 5 years and 1 day now.
Congratulations!
Congratulations!
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really I've been 4 years, so I'm a year behind you. We'll see if I ever get to 5.
You're catching up.
Well, technically, I'll never catch up.
Oh man, that's
well, that's not entirely true.
Well, yeah, unless
things could happen, but
unfortunate things happen.
You hope they don't. Well, sometimes they're fortunate things that happen for some people. It all depends on your perspective, right? But yeah, well, we just did our 25th.
Awesome.
Yeah, I like that saying. Anniversary. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you.
Yeah, but we've been together over.
I guess he's keeping it relevant too.
32 years.
Butt cheeks. Yep.
Yeah, 32 years we've been together now. So
I'll be at 5.
Married or
there you go.
Well, we've been married for 25.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
And we've been together for 32.
Well, me and the wife have definitely been together
longer than I've been alive.
Well, that's why when I talk about things like my relationship with my wife, because we started dating just before I turned 17, right? So there's our time together, and then there's my childhood. There's literally is nothing else. And so a lot of times when people ask us about questions, like my wife and I, we don't fight about things. They go, what do you mean you've been together for 32 years and you guys don't fight about shit? And it's like, you build up a symbiosis over time, but in reality is you just don't know any better. It's like anything else. You just kind of, we're happy. We're very, very thrilled, and I think it's find great joy in disturbing our children with PDAs around the house and stuff, and like being all giddy and stuff about. And it's great to
Rob
me.
walking out of the bedroom in a Speedo, swinging a little bullwhip.
Not quite like that.
Mom? Hey, y'all seen it? Where's your mom?
Yes.
Ouch. No, the
some of my pork.
I take a great turn. Yeah. No, the it's just to me it's fun. I still see her and I still think of her very much like a 16.
I don't want to comment on that.
Make jokes about when we're both working from home about what would HR say about this kind of sexual harassment in the workplace.
Jesus Christ.
Hey man, I'm happy. So but no, the only thing I wanted to say about the wrestling is I wanted Mark's opinion on something.
Yeah, go ahead. I just caught up last night. I didn't watch the finale.
Good time for us, Mark.
For the Mox, and I forget who he. Oh, Penta. I'm sure Mox beat Penta, and it was a boring.
I don't know. I be honest. I fell asleep during it, and I woke up at the end beatdown.
Like, because I don't think that's like even like a good pairing for wrestling.
It's just a random
wrestle, and Penta is fantastic at wrestling.
Yeah, it was just I would imagine I haven't gone back to watch it. I would imagine that was just to put something on because the story at the end was.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The story at the end, the beatdown at the end story was the story that was there. The wrestling was that match was just to get them to the beatdown story at the end.
I don't think AEW realizes that you don't have to defend your belt every single televised event.
Yeah,
like that's so ridiculous.
Well, but there's the dichotomy. You look at somebody like Moxley, who is every week he's sitting there versus you've got on the other side of the WWE, you've got Roman Reigns who defends it once every 3 months.
That sounds a little far, but I would picture them like doing like maybe
at least every other. I mean, he doesn't do every pay-per-view, let alone he doesn't wrestle on shows. All he does is when he shows up on TV, it's 10 minutes of him walking to the ring and then standing in the ring doing almost nothing, just mugging people.
That's kind of boring. Moxley, it takes 10 minutes to walk to the ring, but that's only because they choose to start filming him when he's so damn far away.
Right. No, I was just going to say the thing that I think has been one of the most entertaining is every time any member of the Blackpool Combat Club is going out and they have William Regal comes out to do commentary, waiting to see how he greets Excalibur. Yeah. Just like man in a mask. I want to see. Have you melted my mouth or something?
I'm trying to remember what Matt dude. I hate seeing FTR lose. Like I realized that last night. Like I absolutely hate seeing FTR lose. But if they had to lose, I was glad it was to Swerve and Keith Lee, and I'm glad that it wasn't a clean win.
We're building because what we're building up there is the split of that team and the eventual Swerve versus Keith Lee match.
Well, they had good chemistry last night. Though they didn't really like lean into any of that last night. But hey,
so the storyline with them has always been the they're together and they're doing this stuff and they get along because they're winning, but they always have something here and there. And we've been seeing more and more this notion of that Swerve is by any means necessary. And Keith is like, no, I want to be the honor in the good, clean way. And so the fact that, like this week they're happy because he didn't see the low blow, but they'll come out next week and you'll see there'll be some interview
with Keith,
and Keith will say, "Hey, I watched the Shane. That wasn't the way to do it," and blah 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 blah. Because he's done it before.
Austin and Colton, like I'll tell you what, without them even getting actual ring time, they're quickly rising with their antics of coming out dressed like FTR, like just super fanning for them. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's probably been a good thing to get them out from under their dad, right? And of course, Billy Gunn has done really, you see how Acclaim really just accelerated with in popularity once they added Billy Gunn to them. Hello there, Old Wolf, Tomorrow Cinema here. Welcome. All right, Tyler.
Yeah,
How you doing?
I'm good.
I'm done talking about wrestling. That's fine.
Oh, perfect timing.
No, it doesn't bother me.
Look, I didn't want to talk about a lot about it. I just had a question for him about one little thing, so I don't want to devolve into it. So
I have to go back and listen to what he says again. I don't think I paid attention to it.
To me or them?
No,
it's just every time he comes out, he has this different greeting for him about some kind of really. He'll say "man in a mask," and then he goes into something about, "Ooh, I want to get you and have you like melt in my mouth," or something. He makes some sort of like comment, and like somebody asked him about it one time or so on the show, and he goes, "I'm English. I'm allowed to do things like that."
It's the same thing. Aggressively relaxing.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, it's the same.
A lot of exposed breasts, just differently. Just a lot more men than instead of women. Although,
I need to catch up on House of the Dragon.
I have no desire to watch it.
Did you watch Game of Thrones?
4 seasons of it.
Okay, well,
everybody
just weren't interested.
It was okay. I mean, that genre doesn't excite me all that much, but I mean, it was somewhat interesting. But then all of a sudden, people told me, "Oh, well, season 5 was awful." Da, da, da. So I said, okay, fine. So I didn't watch it, and then I was like, I'll leave happy. And then, now this how's it? It's just like, okay, well, to me, it's just like, oh, here's this, here's Lord of the Rings, and here's a fucking whatever the hell my wife's series, Wheel of Time. None of that stuff's my wheelhouse.
I'm with you. It's not mine.
I'm huge into fantasy. But my fantasy's in space with bubble helmets and fucking laser beams and whatnot. So
more about your fantasy.
So Star Wars, I'm like I said, like I'm all in. Like earlier, like I love Andor. I don't care what other people say about it.
Yeah, it started. Apparently, it picked up big time because I haven't watched it past 4, but everyone who is still watching it is absolutely raving about it.
Yeah, the world building and everything. That's what I said earlier. I was like, is just really good. They're really getting into setting up now. After they pull off the big heist and stuff, then they get into this whole thing of setting up, really laying the groundwork for the formation of the rebellion and stuff.
I want to go back and finish it. I really enjoyed the character and this tone and the style of Rogue One. I think that they were just trying to find their
well, they were setting things up and explaining certain things, laying groundwork. And some of the stuff that they were laying out, what I was saying earlier was, we're coming back to now. So a lot of that early, the storyline of the first 4 like episodes is now come.
What about bad hair pieces? Are they coming back to bad hair pieces? Because that and the guns from circa 1983 took me out of that show completely.
Star Wars early guns were all based off of real guns that they just doctored. So you know what? That's just
they didn't doctor them. That's the problem. They could have at least like put like a squeaky ball on the end of it or something.
But the concept of they've circled back around to this story. To me, the Andor stuff is okay. Right now, what's really interesting is a lot of the stuff that's going on in the with the Imperial intelligence and stuff is the most intriguing stuff to me. And with that they've circled back to this guy who was overzealous in the first couple episodes and trying to investigate Andor and how he's not letting go and how the Imperial intelligence is finding him and talking to him and stuff. But anyways. Both sci-fi and fantasy inspire creative porn. Yeah, it is true. Doesn't matter what your kink, there's a porn for it.
Yeah.
And that's God bless America.
I'm gonna get some coffee fired up. I think I need it. Some nectar of the gods.
Yeah, I'm almost through my thermos, man. I don't know.
My package from Man Cave which is weird to say that sentence. My package from Man Cave arrives today. I'm really excited.
Yeah, he shipped promptly. He was all telling me, "Hey, Rob, I shipped already." I was like, oh, "Wow."
Yeah, I think it was the day before yesterday. I'm surprised it made it to me that fast. He had to he had to message me back. He's like, this is your zip?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Okay, good." And I scroll back up and look. I'm like, "Yeah, that's a typo. What I sent him. Thank God that they called it."
Correction. Yeah.
Well, it corrects
Well,
itself when you
he's
put the
only,
information in the computer. It won't accept a
yeah.
bad
Well,
address.
it shouldn't take long to get to you. He's in PA.
Oh yeah, gravity. He'll just
Yeah, it falls right down.
yeah.
And he probably shipped priority, but I mean, it's not that far. It's not like, I ship stuff to Georgia and I get it to you in 2 days. So why the hell can't he get it in 2 days on the East Coast?
I'll tell you what, the mail's been a lot better. Like it used to. Like one key factor is the Atlanta distribution.
You moved
Everything
too.
goes through. Yeah, I was about to say Atlanta. There's a big hang up that happens there really often from COVID because I think they've caught up a lot there. So you'll still get stuff that lags out there. But I used to have stuff that would hit Atlanta and it would be there for like a week or two because it's such a large facility and they were so understaffed. And then what would happen is shit would leave Atlanta, and instead of coming to the Augusta distribution center, it would go to Ohio or some shit, and then back to Atlanta.
You put on the wrong truck.
Yeah, get put on the wrong truck and have to come back. But then when my old postman, he was horrible. He would just not scan packages and just let them back to the facility, and he would wait till stuff piles up, and he didn't have a choice but to take it to my doorstep, kind of thing.
I hate that. That's every time I have a fill-in. Although I think yesterday I had a fill-in postal carrier, and I saw her walking down the street. It was funny because I was loading all my packages into my car, and so she's walking up, and her eyes just got big. All of a sudden, she sees like this stack of like 70 freaking priority boxes stacked up there, and she's like looking at me like, "You don't think I'm going to take those?" And I'm like, and then she saw that I was loading them into the car. And she's like, "Oh, okay." No, I got them all stacked up for you. Can't you fit them in your satchel?
No, I'll help you walk them out there.
I'll walk them to the mailbox with you.
Why don't you bring your Jeep right up and we'll just load it up? Yeah.
Pick color.
That'll be it. So I'll be green.
Green.
So we got to do all my stuff is going out today. I'm going to go down to the post office, drop it all off, and your packages will be on their way to you.
All my stuff went out Tuesday. It took multiple trips, though. I went to the post office and dropped stuff off. Then I went to the LCS and used supplies there to box up the prints and stuff and went back to the post office.
Packing supplies, fortunately, I had plenty of because I ordered a bunch ahead of time and in anticipation. And then the couple big boxes I needed, these CBCS boxes, all those submissions came in handy with all the packing paper that they use and whatnot. So, but only one person got packing peanuts on all my stuff.
Now I'm pissed. It better be me.
No, it's not you. Sorry. It's Alan. Right now. But
fucking green, really?
They're decomposable ones. They dissolve in water or whatever they are.
So just pour water on your books in the box, and then remove
test it. You test to see how waterproof the slab is, right? Yeah, no, I'm with you.
The slab.
I had the exact same situation, Ryan. Is that my regular guy? He's phenomenal. I've known him for years. I mean, we get him the Christmas card. He comes over for the barbecue, all kinds of stuff. But when he's not on and when he's off, either on vacation or he warns me when he goes on vacation. But just his normal day off for the week, when he has his day off, I know because all of a sudden, packages don't get delivered or no mail gets delivered or whatever, and then my guy shows up the next day with like triple the mail, and he's like, I don't know, but
my mail's always been great. Very, very lucky. What's up, House of Val? THM says that his Augusta. So you live near Mark too.
I had a lot of packages going to Georgia. I'll tell you, apparently it's a happening place.
For comics?
Yeah, apparently. Alan says no, but
yeah, I thought Alan would be done by now. It's taking so long, man.
Just
Just one color.
Green.
What?
We didn't say all the colors, just the one.
No, I got that done. I'm trying to get. That's the color I start with.
Oh, he's doing his root.
Oh, I don't know how to do. I've never tried.
Maybe you should do 2 with one hand each.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Well, blindfolded.
What are you doing?
A Rubik's Cube.
No, I don't have the patience for that. I'd throw it through the window before I even started.
Well, through the window doesn't do anything except make you have to replace your window. If you throw it up against the wall, it breaks into pieces, and you can
Yeah, I know,
assemble
but it makes a
corner.
nice big smash noise.
Well, it does
They
when you
get
throw it against the
enjoyment.
wall, but then you can build it together. So
Get enjoyment for a couple of seconds.
Are you getting a short box today? Nice.
Short box
Or something from short box. Which one?
Oh, I'm getting
one of the two.
I am getting
Yeah, I couldn't.
Okay.
It's one of those two.
a short box of comics being delivered. That will be impressive.
Yeah, well, if it wasn't so expensive, I would have been getting that done for my comics. But
Yeah, you should stop buying new
I'm not
stuff
paying
to
for that.
save up to get all your books sent to you, huh?
Yeah, well, I still got to get the second parcel bloody delivered yet. We've talked
No,
about
full
it.
short
haven't got
box.
there.
Wow. There you go. Look at you.
145.
You're just awesome. I guess.
No.
What's your record?
The record is.
What's your record?
142.
Oh, that's not that good.
No,
Yeah,
it's
42.
not. Considering the world record is.
Didn't matter
No,
what
the
you
world
said. I
record's
was
like 22 seconds, even faster actually.
No, I think it's like 8.
It's
Something
quick.
crazy.
It's stupid fast.
I'd take about a year and 42 days.
I've never finished one. So
I've never tried.
it's going on 30 something years.
It
Or
took
longer.
practice.
Yeah.
But once you get it, you can do it, right? So you
Pretty
just got to get it. You got to know what you're
30
doing.
bucks for the box and $30 shipping. Interesting. Was this one of those like eBay ones,
a
or
short
was this
box?
Sometimes
Now,
I've
is it
seen
a stuffed short box, like they're flipped around to get the most in there, or is it just they're packed one way?
Because I've seen sometimes I see some of those liquidations of people just trying to plow through. They bought collections and collections and collections, and they just like a short box for like 30 or 50 bucks, and it's like when you get it, it's like none of it's bagged and boarded, or it's all garbage, and you get a handful of you might find a couple minor decent books in there, and
You get 20 copies of Turok 1, and yeah, all that sort of
no,
stuff.
you won't even get that because the
It's a
Turok
banger.
Turok 1 would be okay to get because you can at least turn around and sell it from the people, because people buy it for the comedic value and stuff, for nothing else, right?
That's
So
why I paid $1 for it.
Yeah, I mean, but you get books
just to say you have one.
Yeah, but now I have like 3 or 4.
Yeah,
and I didn't
people
buy the others.
People who collect a bunch of them for some reason. Oh, I want to send people a box full of Turoks, so they buy them and stuff. Versus,
and that's why I give all my non-Marvel books to Simon, so I don't have to deal with it.
yeah, instead you just end up with like a box full of books that are like 80s schlock that you're like, oh man, they made a comic on this,
What's up, J Hud?
So I don't know.
Let me get some more coffee.
Yes, you coffee drinkers unite. Mark's like milking the bean.
Or goat or almond or whatever.
Oh.
What's the drink?
I'm just thinking it's drinking black. That's my imagination. No, a friend was doing a live sale. Oh, okay, cool. It was WDC. Offered $30 for it. Nice.
Okay.
That at least is more promising.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that anybody's ever got anything good out of any of the giant eBay lots. So I know I've ordered some in the past just for content because you could buy, it was cheap, but back in the days, and then you have the problem of now I got all this garbage.
I have content. It's stacked up in my room at home.
I'm trying to build.
Unpackage it.
I'm trying to accumulate some for right now to space some stuff out because I need to after the C3 I need to temper my expenses for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
So
might be
you mailed
tempting.
70 plus priority mail packages?
So
Rob?
not all of them were priority. So so here's what happened, right? So all the slabs. So I had the majority of the stuff, right? I did have like over 80 different items that I had to ship, and some of those were combined for the multiple people.
Alexa, stop.
Because I had not only the stuff that I sold during my show, but I had
Mhm.
the stuff I had most of the prize wheel stuff from Saturday, and I had the auction stuff, right, including like all the Team Ohana stuff that they had sent to me and some of this other stuff. So I have a lot to ship out, um, and I had in anticipation of the slabs, I had ordered a new product that I heard of called Slab Shipper, which are these foam inserts that go inside the U.S. Postal 1095 box, and it allows you to basically it reinforces the edges with solid foam and styrofoam, and it has grooves to slide slabs in, and then keep them suspended and
Yeah.
protected. And I'm like, okay, cool. Let me try this. And it was a lot. It saved me a ton of time packing
Really?
slabs because the number of slabs I had to do, I would have to bubble wrap them all and stuff would have just been so time consuming.
So did you put bubble wrap around those too, or no?
No. You don't do that. You just there's the side rails have grooves that the slab slides in, and then they're separated. There's air gaps. If you could, if like the one I prepared originally to ship like internationally, I would insert like cardboard on other sides of it. But realistically, bubble wrapping it would do it no good.
Okay.
Because even if something hits the center of the box in such a way that it's going to pierce through that box and penetrate in far enough, at that point that the bubble wraps are useless too. So it's really about protecting the corners is what's important.
Yeah.
And so here the slab is complete. It's like the styrofoam's like yay. It's foam that goes around it, and then it the way it interlocks, it reinforces all the corners of the boxes. So you'll I don't know if you got a slab or not.
No,
I know I shipped something to you, but
you did.
Yeah, you had something. Let's see here.
You've gone to the dark side.
Who, me?
Lady Fantastic, gone to DC. Blah. I can only say that
she grew up a little. That's all.
Nothing wrong with streamlining your collection.
I could have sworn I sent you something, but now I don't see you on the list. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I'm confusing you with Alan May. That must be.
Alan's gone anyway. He's put his camera and that off.
Work. Anyways, people will see these things, but it saved me a ton of time in bubble wrapping and everything else to put these things into these things. But because they fit, the 1095 box is a regional.
Who's Baltimore bound?
Baltimore is Comic-Con is this weekend.
Oh no, there's in the private chat. I say Baltimore bound, so I don't know who that is.
Sorry.
So, as a person, oh
yeah,
somebody probably backstage wants to come in, but unfortunately we don't have an admin here right now. They both stepped away to get some coffee. So if you're backstage, sorry.
Back to those styrofoam things you were talking about, Rob. I think I got 1 or 2 packages from Big Time Collectibles that had those.
Possibly. I know that EGS just announced that they were going to start using them, and that's how I heard about it. And so I went to I went and checked them out, and I was Digger Jim. Okay. Sorry, Digger. As soon as either one of the 2 guys who aren't here are here, they can let you in.
Is it expensive to get, Rob?
They're like $1 something a set.
Oh man, that's cheap.
But if you buy them in like small quantity, I bought like 50 of them, which is a whole case, because I was going to be shipping a lot, and I only used about half of them, so I have a lot. for a while, but it was it was super simple, right? And if I'm but what happens is they use a priority box, and that means you can only ship priority. So it was all of a sudden it was dawned on me, like when I went to generate this, it's like, oh shit, now all these slabs I have to ship them all out priority mail instead of like parcel post. And I wouldn't normally ship parcel post, but when you're shipping 70 freaking packages, $3 to $4 a box adds up really freaking fast.
So you spent $800 to ship everything?
No. So because it was regional rates and stuff, some of those already packages were only like $7 or something. So I think the average cost of the parcel was like $11. But no, my shipping bill was over $600, or right around $600, and that does not include the Australia packages yet.
Rob, you did so much, man. You did a great job.
But it's all good.
Rob.
Yes.
I sent you a package, but the dude at work, we're sending it UPS, but it'll have the company name on it. So I just kind of wrote beside it, Digger Jim. So don't ignore it if it says API Tech. You'll probably be like, what the
It'll be one of those things I'll get. I go, what is this? What did I order? I don't know.
Yeah.
Just like your Macca's for chip.
That's right. Send it
back. I was like, I went back there and I was like, why couldn't you get rid of this? He's like, I'm sorry, I was in a hurry. Just scratch through it. I'm like, no, I don't want to, do that. Just,
Baltimore.
I'll just put the my name beside it. Baltimore. I know. I almost got ready to put that Lady Fantastic, but I don't live in Baltimore, so I'm just going to visit.
We got the all the packaging, at least everything a lot of stuff, all the raw books and stuff were simple because I was able to put them in boxes and put them into padded envelopes. So those all were able to go parcel post. Only one package was light enough that was under a pound, so I was able to ship it first class package.
Yeah,
but everything else, there was a lot of priority mail packages went out. But thank God that Pirate Ship has an Excel upload, right? Because I was dreading entering all this stuff into Pirate Ship to one at a time to generate these shipping labels. Thank God I was able to upload a spreadsheet and do bulk batch loads. Right. That made life a lot easier once I figured out what was working and what wasn't, the error fixes. But man,
all I got left is Eddie's, and I already told him I'm not going to send it until probably Monday. And I'm going to send books with it, so it doesn't matter.
That's one thing I'm curious about, like how well like this stuff outside of our immediate hands will go. Like there's stuff from last year that I'm under that I think hasn't ever gotten sent. I think this year's already going smooth. Everyone's kind of sounding off that they sent or working on it or where the status is, like everything.
Yeah, the ones that were like the hardest for me is like I had a couple people reach out on a few things for addresses, but for the stuff that was happening on individual shows, like that's where I have like the least insight into what was going on. Right, the auction stuff and the prize wheel for the most part. Like I said, I or as you guys know, I sent out, okay, here's the people. If you had something that was one of those shows, I sent out a parsed list. Say, okay, here's what was done. Boom. And I think the bulk of everything was done. I know that I saw a lot of individuals posts and stuff, so I think we're pretty good. But I know that it's like for me, I don't even know what I know. I spent a lot of money on stuff because I've looked at the total of how much I ended up my donations. I was like, oh really? I did that much? Obviously I wasn't paying attention. And then which makes the shipping bill even worse sometimes. But then you sit there, but then you go, what did I buy? Okay, I know that I got a slab from Louis, and I know Louis sending it to me because he asked me for
slab,
stuff, and
the Stanley,
I was
jealous of that one.
The Stanley signed slab, I couldn't believe he was giving up a Stanley signed slab. That just blew me away.
Yeah, that really shows you his level of commitment to helping.
Yeah, no doubt.
I got 2 slabs. That's it.
Well, I know I got a bunch of I got a bulk load of like some Spider-Gwen books or something from somebody. I don't remember who, but I just remember like going like, oh wow, that's like stupid low price. It's like what I paid for the whole lot was there's one book in that lot that is worth more than what I paid for the whole lot. But
yeah, I looked at my because like I saw I think it was Saturday night when I was looking at the numbers. I saw like where a lot of the donations were compressed because I was scrolling through looking for the multiple because I was donating on every stream, like participating in their event. And I saw where it was compressed, and I'm like, oh man, I wish I wouldn't have done that. Now I feel like I said, click. That was before the Sunday show where I thought that I was saving till I got there.
Right.
Apparently I didn't.
You already overextending. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I do know that I've got some cool stuff coming. Like I said, that little kid that was on with Gary drew a picture or something. I'm not
right.
I'm not sure what like is she I'm unfamiliar with them. I don't know what she does, but they were like that was like one of the draws is one of her pictures, and I happened to be the one to win that. I won the notebook from John's Comics with Kids. I won this amazing Black Manta. Like from Tricky
that was sick.
That thing is next.
Oh
level.
yeah, that was
that's not going in Finn's room. That's going straight across from me right here on the wall. Like that's
right.
Yeah, I won a giant Spider-Man painting. Oh well, Lady Fantastic prize gifted me something she won, and I told Brian LCS that's very sweet. I actually have those, so I would like to prize gift them to anybody that you're already.
That noise.
We did not hear that very end because of some loud noise.
I think Alan was flushing.
That was Alan.
Yeah, it just got loud all of a sudden.
Lady F prize gifted me some stuff, and
sorry.
Brian that I have them already, and I told him to prize gift them to somebody he is already shipping to. You know.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Lady F did okay. I mean, she managed to bid up a couple items that Man Cave bought, and Man Cave turned around and AOK'd them to her.
Oh, really?
You go, Lady F.
I won the Roscoe commission, and I cannot wait for the Roscoe commission. I let Lisa pick what is.
Oh, cool! You're getting Ahsoka.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he does crossover stuff, so I said it has to be crossed over with something.
So is Ahsoka going to be slicing Steamboat Willie in half?
Yeah, that would be dope.
That would be going to be for me.
Darth Steamboat Willie,
but the Aladdin Sane David Bowie.
Goodness,
Alan, mute your mic.
Alan,
I muted him.
Yeah.
Freaking office workers
and noisy bastard.
Right. I shipped out.
Where do you get off trying to work? Where do you get off trying to work?
It's normally not loud, but for some reason your mic is picking up strong today.
It's probably right next to where he's making the noise.
That's Roscoe.
It's probably
the mic. Roscoe's the best.
As a kitty cat.
Yeah.
I love everything Roscoe's like ever done.
Yeah,
I'm sure
I got that.
It is.
Off of Nick's when he was on Nick's, and it came with a bunch of other comics, and I was like, okay, finally I got some Roscoe art.
I remember seeing him on
what was the show? Someone who doesn't have experience with DC, let him expand their reading.
The show that was on every week where you drew a random thing. You guys know what I'm talking about?
It was Cardboard Crazy. It's Between the Lines.
No. It was the competition one.
Oh, Just a Rican in his comics.
Yeah.
I
just forget the name of the show. Lamer Frame. That was it.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing him on there for the first time I ever saw him, thinking he was like a famous artist. It's like, who is this guy? He's so good.
Yeah.
But I think that's he's not yet. One day he's gonna be. I guarantee it.
Yeah, he's really good. Really good. Yes, if you're married, then you'll understand there's a mind game things going on in the Norse house.
If you're married.
Yeah. You know, you have to, it's like Jedi stuff, because like last weekend I was like, listen, I dropped a few bills last weekend. I got a couple slabs. I bought 2 Godzilla prints, and yeah.
And now you're in the doghouse.
And then she was like, well, is that it? And I was like, yeah.
Did you tell her what you did with the Godzilla prints?
I did.
Did you tell her what it was for?
That part doesn't.
I mean, it's not like you just spent
No. But she knows that I'm going to Baltimore this weekend, and so then she was like, I was like, listen, I'm not going to take a lot of money to Baltimore. She goes, take whatever you want. So now I'm really starting to try to figure out what's up in my head.
What'd she buy?
No. Then I realized, wait a minute, she's going to England in March or no May of next year with her girlfriends. That's got to be trump anything that I'm spending.
It's called reverse psychology.
Yeah, the plane ticket alone is going to be more than that.
Yep.
And I was like, shit, I should really go get some more money out of the bank now before I go. So when John comes, we might be making another trip to the bank.
Sorry about the loud noise. I apologize.
You're still loud.
What's up, Brandon?
I don't hate mine. I just think that I'm like, she's
totally normal.
Acting out of character. That's all. I'm like, why are you doing this? What's the reasoning behind it? I have to play catch up sometimes. She's usually 3 moves ahead.
Catch up is such a nasty condiment.
Only 3.
3 moves.
Yeah. I'm about 3 moves behind usually. But look, I already knew I married up. She's way smarter.
Jim's
than I
over
am.
here. He's like, I figured you out. I know what you're up to. And then she's like, no, you have no fucking clue.
Never let her do your next move.
You're right.
No, that is how it is, though.
Yeah. So yeah, I all I got are these. I got Eddie's the only person left. I'm gonna package his up, but I got Chris's and I got Remy's right here. I shipped out Madam and Master blasters yesterday.
I know that everybody's not into Power Rangers by a long shot, but that cover that Remy did, that negative space cover,
that was amazing.
So I plan on reaching out because I want to have like a set of all 6 of them, the blanks, because they did all 6 colors, and I've got one from like Ruby, one from Soul Twice, and one other one I can't remember what, but I want to reach out and get Remy to do one and like have like a set of community artists.
Oh yeah, I'll do one for you too. Let me know.
I'll send you one. I've seen your work. I'm impressed.
Just the fact that he did like a negative space like that, and the lines, it just looked really.
Dude, it looked like a real cover.
Yeah,
like when you hold it up, I didn't think it was his work.
Right, I thought it was right. I thought it was a book that he had bought. I was like, wow, that's impressive.
Like, oh, that's one of the negative space. I've just never seen that cover before.
Yeah, where did he do that one?
Somebody else I know who draws actually quite well is Dale. I saw Dale on Lane.
Oh, Dale's great.
Dale's fantastic.
Yeah, he's really good.
Did you see Rob's Frankenstein too?
I did. So Rob's going to get a cover.
There you go. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Squirtle.
Rob hasn't done many works, and I have one of them. I mean,
you have the second one I've ever done.
Yeah, I'm not selling it though.
Patrick says I have a separate account with money I earn. I spend on what I want, but there are still uncomfortable conversations.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, we had like the water heater decided to die.
Get a tankless one.
And so we had to get a new one put in. Yeah, we talked about the tankless
on demand ones. They're
I decided, you know what, that can be the next guy that moves into this house. He can go that way if he wants. I'm gonna.
You moving?
I don't think water needs to be hot.
But,
so
I don't plan to be here in another 15 years. When that one gives out, I'll probably be gone in somewhere.
How old are you?
I'm 55.
Why are you dying so young?
No, I'm just saying I don't plan to retire
in that house. I think
in this house. We're probably going to retire somewhere else. That's what I'm saying.
You should move down south
to Florida.
Where are you going to move? Yeah,
not that far.
It's Probably, if I have my way, it's going to be down towards North Carolina.
So it definitely won't be there. Where's your wife taking y'all?
Yeah, London.
No, I don't know.
After she goes to London, maybe it will be.
No, the big three are going to London. Her and her two girlfriends to see the one that lives in Bermuda's son is going to the London School of Economics, so she's going anyway, and they're just tagging along for a week of fun and debauchery with the new royals, something like that. I don't know.
You need to go somewhere where the digging is good.
North Carolina's pretty good. South Carolina would be even better, but I don't.
Stills.
You can drive there. You can drive.
I don't
to South
want-
Carolina.
Yeah,
dig
but-
at Stonehenge.
I don't know. That's my plan. It may not coincide with her plan, but Patrick, you understand what I'm saying.
We really do have quite an array of ages across the community. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. But right now, I'm trying to figure out what to take with me to Baltimore to get signed. I have a few books pulled out. When John gets here, we'll coordinate. And
Is he on the way to you right now?
yeah, he should be. He took the day today. He wasn't sure he was going to be able to take the day, and he called me last night and was like, "Hey, I'm coming up." So
It was a highlight. The absolute highlight of the Heroes Con weekend was getting to spend the time with you, John, and Chip like we did, just to hang out.
yeah,
Like the hunting was great. There was awesome deals we had, but that was definitely the most enjoyable part. Was just kicking it, like going out to eat and just me and myself with the waitresses and y'all having never experienced me in public before. Alan knows.
Oh man, this dude. I tell you what, you will not be if you don't have a good time with Mark in public, then you just don't need to be with Mark.
Right.
I mean, that's just the way it is.
Agreed.
No, I can't wait for that one day. The live hangout in person with me and Mark and whoever else.
Yeah, the first meal, we're all sitting down at like this big booth, and the waitress walks up all busy and shit. Like there's slams. Like, hey, can I get y'all something to drink? I'm like, yes, ma'am. Silence. Everyone just looks at me.
Oh my god. Yeah, we're gonna crash overnight. That's part of the reason why I got a hotel room, was so that John and I could go out with people after the con and hang out wherever they're gonna go. I don't know yet. I still got to figure that out. But Pocan Joe's there, so Lord knows anything can happen.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure he's gonna be like, "Hey,
you can be sure that alcohol will be consumed."
Yeah, where are we going to drink tonight?
Peter chips.
So I'm sure that'll be that'll be on the thing for sure.
Yeah, I got you, Chris.
Oh, Tyler got you
at the same time.
But I figure we'll probably see Justin there from No Good Comics because his dad's going to be there. So he's got a booth, and we're not going to see Bearded because he spent all his away time with his father. And I'm not sure. I'm trying to think of who else. I thought for sure, weirdly, I thought I heard Austin say he was going, but then I didn't hear any more about it. So maybe not.
That'd be cool if he can make it. I know he's doing the moving thing and stuff. That'd be awesome.
That would be pretty amazing coming from the Arizona over here. So
there's a con in Indy in a couple weeks that I know Lisa wants to go to. We might go. I don't know. If anyone wants to go, that'll be what convinces me to go.
My buddy was talking about, I think Steel City Con in Pittsburgh has another one in December, and I don't know. That's more toy driven. Every time I go, the comic section just gets smaller and smaller, and the toys get more, and the autograph thing is just huge. And they always have here's Gilligan from Gilligan's Island,
I love that guy.
Or here's somebody that hasn't been on TV in 30 years, but come and get an autograph. And 5 wrestlers that don't look like they ever wrestled in their life, So the coolest one I think was when I went with him one time and balls. What's his name?
Balls.
The guy from Walking Dead. The
Norman
one that
Reedus?
Pierce Brosnan?
Norman Reed, the one that played Norman Reedus' brother.
It wasn't The Rock, was it?
The Rock?
Yeah, no, I don't think it was The Rock.
Was it Whoopi Goldberg?
Henry Cavill?
Could be Henry Cavill. I
It's
can't think of the guy's name.
It's Michael Rooker.
Jason Momoa.
Yeah,
Michael Rooker.
Michael Rooker. Anyway, he was.
I'm Mary
he was
Poppins,
there.
y'all.
And I hung out. I hung out with him at the bar for a few minutes and talked to him. But I didn't have to pay $8,000 to sit in line and wait for to get a signature. That was kind of cool.
Jeff Reedus?
Jeff Reedus?
Norman Reedus' brother.
That's him. Jeffrey Reedus?
Yes, exactly. Marcus was deep the other day on Nick's, like just speaking wisdom on Nick's show with him and Iggy.
No,
and Iggy
it was a great show.
Iggy was dropping some knowledge too that I didn't. I mean, I had it on while I was sort of working, and I was like, damn, I may have to pay attention to what's going on here. It's better than work.
Is that Burke?
Burke.
It was so bright I couldn't tell.
Your future is so bright.
Dude.
He's driving into the sun.
Yeah.
Get your ass up earlier. I'm already at work.
What's up, my brother?
What's happening?
Yeah, I'm not working today. I'm working today.
What are you doing?
I am driving to the pumpkin patch because my daughter has a field trip there today, and we signed up to go to it. So
very
nice.
Cool. How far away do you have to drive for a pumpkin patch?
Holy shit! There's like 3 deer. It's about a 15-minute drive.
Live on Legion of Comics.
Burke hits another deer.
Burke is
ground venison.
Some people swerve away from the deer, not Burke.
He goes for it.
I slowed down in time.
Why?
It's hunting season, baby. What
Even if
shorts are you wearing?
It's the only way you get to bag them, and it's outside of hunting season. It was an accident.
Man, that's unreal. We had they had a bear come into the area the other day. Decided he needed to be a city bear. I was like, okay, you need to go back up to the mountain, bear. Get out of the city.
Did you go and tell him that?
No. But I let the police officers trank him. I watched that. That was kind of cool.
Nice.
They tranked him, and or whoever they are, the patrol animal people.
Animal control?
Yeah, something like that. They tranked him. He wasn't. I think he was more like, I don't know. He was just hungry, I'm sure. They're always just looking to eat stuff. He'd pretty much decimated this lady's bird feeder. He just cracked that thing open, was like, I was like, dang on.
Patrick hit 2 deer this month. First time ever. Well, the first time was the first time ever. And then you're going on a streak, I guess.
Going for the hat trick.
Going streaking?
Working towards that UAV. What's up, Justin?
Yeah, Justin's there. I'm gonna go.
Oh yeah, Justin will be at Baltimore.
Yeah, he's there now. I believe he's already knocked back a whole 12-pack of Natty Bow.
Definitely.
Natty Bow, baby.
Dr. Manhattan died in front of it on the HBO show. Nice.
Died.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's where it was. That's cool. God, that show was so good. That was like before I found the comic community. I was just craving people talking about that show. I was looking everywhere for podcasts and all kinds of stuff. And
did you listen to the podcast that ran as it aired?
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
that was the one I found.
Ridiculously good.
Yep, I love that it was a sequel to the comic too. Like,
Yeah,
that shows you how good that book is.
With the raining
What's up,
squid in
Chris?
the first issue.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
How's moving?
Oh, it's slow process.
It's a lot
That
of
says it
picking up.
all.
It's a lot of picking up heavy objects and putting them down again.
Yeah. I feel like 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag this morning.
Chris, here's your box.
Yeah.
Chris, here's your address.
Another box.
Yeah, here's your address.
Oh
Close
wow!
my eyes. I see them in my nightmares.
You did it. Oh, are you shipping it to Chris's place, or are you shipping it?
No, but I can use that if I have the customs form on there.
No, I know you can, but it's $20 more shipping it in a priority box than it is shipping it.
Yeah, well, my
Yes.
wife let me know that I did it wrong, but I don't care. It's done. I paid it.
Because
And, you know.
I found that.
Kicking in.
Hey, Kelly.
Hey.
I found that out a while ago, and it's like that's why I'll most of the stuff when I ship it to Canada, I'll put it into either a large padded envelope or some other brown box or something,
Right.
just because it costs significantly less.
Well, it's the first time shipping to Canada. I wanted to get there.
But definitely you did it right way with US Post, because if you ship it UPS, then it just becomes stupid expensive for the recipient.
Yeah.
Because their custom brokerage is a pain in the ass.
I'm not a professional
but if you can, whenever you can, the other advice I have to people when you ship internationally is get the person's local contact phone number, because if it does have to go to customs and customs is going to reach out, you want them to be able to reach out to the recipient to be able to help clear it, rather than calling you and you don't know any of the information.
That's a good point, but
as long as you don't overvalue it
Yeah.
skirts through customs too. Like we're allowed to have a certain amount cross the border without them even looking at it. So
yeah, U.S. mail, and if you're doing it, it's less than like $100 or something, or $200. I think it's fine.
there's some books in there.
I showed Tyler this. I started another. I'm doing a wax spawn.
I gotcha. Yes, dude, that is amazing.
Oh, Lord.
What I want to do is make the cape entirely out of Berserker comics.
Nice.
Oh my god, dude!
That's
I even
hilarious.
put I even made the W on the front, the Spawn logo. Normally, the color
Oh
won't be
wow,
on
I
the
didn't
but I
see
did
that
the W
before.
instead. So yeah, I'm working on that.
That is next level.
That's awesome.
Man.
That's funny.
It's got to go to the side for a couple of days though until I'm moved. But,
Yeah. You mean your livelihood is important?
you know,
Somehow you got to keep
you
it
got to pay
rolling.
the tax man. And, you know,
Exactly. Forget about actually making money, right? You just have the money to make the money to pay the tax man.
I just have to survive at this point, you know. So yeah, it's all good.
Did you tell Chris you were moving? Comic vet?
Of course he knows. He's been talking about it.
I don't know. That guy still hasn't given me a magnet or a sticker.
I know, man.
I know the
Really?
see him
Because
every
you know what?
week.
It was so funny because I think I started to put it. He sent me stuff to put in some of the boxes I was shipping out from her, and I started to put it into the stuff. So I don't need to give it to Chris, because Chris would have given Chris one.
No. Oh.
Oh,
Dun, dun, dun.
Wow. I'm sorry.
The drama continues.
Yep.
So you got because I think I've sent you a package before, right?
Yeah.
So you've gotten stuff for me. So you got my sticker. and shit.
Yes. I have your sticker.
Yeah. And it only slabs a magnet, I think I sent you.
I have your stuff. I have Legion of Comics. I have Remy's, and I have
Because I'm nothing but like fucking
DJ
notorious
Links.
for sending out my shit.
yeah. You
I'm
are
a marketing
shameless
whore.
promoter, my friend.
Yeah.
I don't do that much. You'll have one of mine soon.
Awesome.
Well, what are you gonna do?
So, Mark,
Yes,
I bought some of those comic skins,
Oh yeah, they're awesome.
and I'm trying to figure out when you set your when you talk to Chip about setting up the strip for the
He just
top
talks
of
to
it,
shit.
or you sent the information. How did you? I mean, What is it? Would you just give him the information about the book and he built it?
Well, well, yes and no. Like, for one, like I send them the credits because I don't want to ask somebody for something, which I paid Chip first off for anybody watching this and getting any bright ideas. I didn't take Chip's kindness for granted, Jim.
I'm totally going to.
I sent him
that sucker owes me money.
I sent him the credits like for the book, so he doesn't have to sit there and look it up himself. But I also told him what I wanted previously, like in the grade box. I chose what I wanted in that box. I didn't want a number value. I did it old school Overstreet way, and I can grade a book in the general grade and be right, whether it's like fair, good, fine, very, you know what I mean. So I assigned it its appropriate grade in that sense, not a numerical grade. And I like the fact that the box on mine, instead of it just being a white box, it's a word bubble. It's a squared out word bubble, which looks good and it's comic booky. And then as far as like having the custom slab with a picture on it, I sent DC stuff. So I wanted some DC custom labels, and I just.
Yeah, when I did the same thing with him, I gave him all the credits,
the
stuff I wanted, and then mine was
like that.
Star Wars themed. So he put the little rebel symbol behind the.
And as far as I wanted it to look like generic, like as far as the blue, generic like the CGC or stuff like that. So that was just a gradient thing, and all of them, like they say, like it's Omega Man says LOC Omega size grade, and then like the Incredible Hulk one says LOC incredible size grade. It's just kind of whatever the book was, you know what I mean, instead of universal. And then the back has the QR code, which that was a Chip touch.
Yeah.
It goes. Well, I'm going to give him a lot of leeway with it. I'm going to send him my I'll send him the little logo thing, and he can stick it on there, and I'll just give him the information of the book.
Yeah, I had a Shadow #1 from DC Comics done up and sent to X11, which is a special. I put a little bit more time into his, and I have like a note put on the back of his and everything that I wrote.
It's just that
he's always doing.
I'm gonna put that one in the comic skin. So
nice.
That one, and a couple other ones are going in comic skins. So, and then I'm gonna put it back here on the wall. So, I just wondered how you did it. Thank you for your information.
You're welcome, sir.
He wanted me to send all of it while he was on vacation. I'm like, I'm not doing that. You enjoy your vacation, and we'll get it whenever we get it. No, this was when
previously got it.
Yeah, when he first went to.
That was nice of you to wait till he's off of vacation and busy with work to try to tackle keeping up with his job and your requests at the same time.
Absolutely, nothing but the best. I know that he works best under pressure. Mm-hmm. That's what That's what makes StreamYard so great. Absolutely. Oh, I know who I'm gonna meet when I'm up there is what's her name?
I gotta take one of these books off the wall.
Why? Send it to me? Awesome.
No, I gotta make room.
You're replacing it?
The one all the way to the left in the second row.
Fuck you.
Send me the Submariner.
Proper response.
I don't know.
Proper response.
This you can't see it, but I mean the second left on the second row is my Startling Comics Schomburg cover.
No. Second from the bottom.
He wants the
Justice League, the second appearance of the Justice League.
If he really wanted it, he could have bought it. It's been sitting at our local shop for months. It is gone now.
I gotta make room for my my 1942 Buck Rogers that came back.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Rhino?
I don't know, maybe. I don't know. I gotta think about this. Submariner might come down because that book's been up for sale. Eventually, I thought by now somebody would have bought it, and I could have.
I'm surprised they haven't.
Yeah, I dropped the price again. I'm like,
there was
$7.99.
You know, there's announcements come out.
Right,
$750, Jim.
You know, those announcements come out that are never confirmed, like this character's set to show up in this, that, and the third, but then they always come true, but you can never confirm them ahead of time for some reason.
Right.
Those announcements came out about Submariner being in the Kang Dynasty movie and then getting his own solo film after that. So maybe. I mean, the movie's starting to play too. I'm surprised that book hasn't popped.
Well, it did pop. It popped somewhat, but
days.
It's been coming down for a while. But a lot of books are. I'm actually really surprised. I looked the other day. Like I was really surprised. ASM 300, or even like Ultimate Fallout 4, with the exception of like a 9.8,
still coming down.
The price has come down dramatically.
Good.
I mean, it's really important. I mean, granted, I don't. It's still. I'm not selling them and flipping them, so I don't care all that much. But in the back of your head, you're always like, oh, did I overpay? No, I was still good. But I don't know. I dropped the price down to $750 on the Submariner to see somebody move it at some point, but I don't know. I sell it to the right person probably for $700 if I had wasn't going through eBay. But
oh boy.
Do you? I would worry. I'd worry about that book dropping after the movie comes out.
Depends upon what they do with them and what they go, but yeah.
No matter what, it'll drop after that movie comes out. No matter what, not because
that's
people absolutely
why
love him, it'll still drop after the movie.
That's what always happens. I'd be putting that thing up for like $500 starting bid to get
well,
it.
I'll keep it. I don't mind having it, but I mean,
I wasn't sure if you were like dead set.
Oh, it's like I'd be happy to move it because I originally bought it for that, but at the same time, I'm a freaking collector. It's a key book,
You collect comics?
I do.
One or two.
Only slabs.
Only slabs.
And it is slabs.
It says it in the show. For Christ's sake, only slabs.
Yeah, so it's just another slab in the collection at that point. But I don't know. It might come down. I could pull down. I already pulled down She-Hulk.
Do you have the first appearance of Submariner and Tales to Astonish?
No, I don't.
I wonder what Submariner books are like kind of been, because I know everyone pays attention to Submariner #1 because it was like nobody gave a shit about it forever until like 2 years ago. But there's like so many other Submariner books like that predate that.
The Timeless?
Like even you know what I mean? Like I wonder what out there is like gone up, like not like to the price of other stuff.
The Fantastic Four appearance has gone up, and
like if people aren't like going crazy over Subby #1, which is like his 10,000th appearance in the Silver Age, like I think it's even into the Bronze Age, isn't it?
The Iron Man Submariner that went, which is the first half of the story, went up, some, but it never really got all that big. I mean, this is just key because it's like the first title in its and it's an origin retold.
Yeah, right? In his own title, and it's the iconic cover there.
Yeah, it's those Marvel ones, the #1s when they released them all, where they had these.
Oh, there's Kyle. Hey, Kyle.
Yeah, where have you been, Kyle?
Oh my goodness.
They let him out of jail.
Maybe I'll take down Beta Ray Bill.
I haven't seen you in a while, Kyle.
I'm not a huge Beta Ray Bill guy. I could take.
Yeah, you just send it to me. You don't need it.
Send it to me, right?
That's too late.
It costs too much to go to Australia. $29.99, and
he's already sending me something.
I'm already sending stuff to Australia. So
you ever loan out the collection? You can loan out the collection like they have museum collections. It goes to another museum.
There you go.
So you should mail these to us so we can proudly display them in the back.
Right.
Part of the Rob collection.
We put a little placard underneath it. Part of
on loan from the Rob Fat Packs collection. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's probably a solid idea.
That's not bad. Go.
And you get to still enjoy them just from afar.
On everybody else, I can see what it looked like on your wall, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Would there be any reason to slab a signed ISOM #1? Why or why not? Probably absolutely not. To be honest with you, like there's that hype inside the ISOM community. Like
I don't remember that acronym. What's that acronym?
I don't know what it even stands for, to be honest. If it is an acronym, I don't have a clue. But inside the people that care about ISOM is pretty much all that there is out. Like that book has made no waves or ripples beyond the people that actually follow. Like that's like a social media following hype thing. Like people who Most people who just follow and read comics aren't the same people that
all
follow
the
Eric G. Locke. Yeah, I found out well after the fact. Yeah, I think he is one of the Comicsgate guys, but I think he's kind of doing his own thing though. Like, he's kind of doing his own thing. But yeah, I picked one up and reviewed it, and then then the storm of information came in, so I've been like looking at it. And people bought them and listed them on eBay. For like
that's what you did that review on.
Yeah, it sold it sold. There's countless copies. It's like Spawn #1. There's nothing rare about it whatsoever.
But that's fine. If you have a signed copy, if you want to have it slabbed, go ahead. I mean,
would there be any reason to, other than the obvious fact, if I want to do it, I can do it, kind of thing. But I don't financially, absolutely not.
Yeah, no, not at this, not probably right now. I mean,
not right now.
I used to, for a while, I was in the habit of like getting every signed book slabbed, and I've stopped doing that because I just got so many signed books now.
I sold out, man. I think
some of them I've just started putting in my file box raw, and just like, okay, whatever. But
yeah, there's just
7.6 thousand views you're up to.
That's crazy. I don't think if anyone's even stopped to say, I wonder how many's printed. You know what I mean? Because they literally did a campaign of over $3.5 million worth of copies purchased. You know what I mean? That's an excessive number of copies. And if that book has any value whatsoever outside of just the people in that community saying it does because they have a copy, it's going to be contingent upon that book building a foundation, growing, and becoming something that actually bleeds into the industry. Right. Like, I'm not saying they have to be Marvel or DC, but they have to be a contender on the shelves. They have to be something that people chase, and they never will.
It's
like
not
Spawn.
And for the record, Chris is a shop owner, so that's where he's speaking from, like the experience of being in the industry.
It's one of those echo chamber books, it's big in its own community, and nobody else ever hears it. Dave Sim has his fans for Cerebus. And I mean, he lives in Kitchener, which is like less than 40 kilometers from where I live. It's not far away. Sorry, I'm in Canada.
Thank you for speaking.
No idea what that means.
Using that foreign language again.
Close. Yeah, but
here we go. Here's the acronym.
To his online fans, that's all he does, right? He's big, and he'll always be popular to his fans. But outside of that, I sell one copy of his book. So
here's some possible acronyms: Island south of Miami, International Society of Orthomolecular Medicine, Information Systems and Operations Management.
I like that one.
In Search of Meaning. We're gonna get it eventually. We'll crack this code.
Yeah.
So I brought so this is the book, right? It's try to get it with a minimal glitter.
What are kilometers? Yeah. Always do what you like, Patrick. That's number one. Do what makes you happy. But if you're looking for financial stuff, you're gonna have to sit on that book probably till your grandkids are your age.
So, hey, America, get your kids a gun.
Probably.
So this is from 1942. Right, and so I brought this in because at my LCS, so it's a comic and a game shop, and so there's a general manager, a comics manager, and a game manager. The comics manager into the same stuff I'm into. He likes slabs, he likes sci-fi, all this stuff. So we constantly bring in stuff from our PC to share with each other periodically while we're doing stuff. The general manager, he's anti-slabs. Doesn't understand them, whatever else, and he's very opinionated. Matter of fact, he is the stereotypical bad comic store guy that gives people shit and grief and thinks he's better than you and everything else, right? Until you get to know him, and then he's kind of cool. But yeah, he is. My wife, first time my wife interacted with him without him knowing who she was like, "Why would I ever fucking shop there? I don't get it." And their Yahoo reviews like sometimes reflect some of that. But when you get to know him, he's a kind of
Yahoo reviews, not the Google reviews, the Yahoo reviews.
So anyways, I brought this in, and so like, of course, Steve, the comics manager there at the LC, he's looking at it, he's going, wow, dude, he's all getting all excited about it, like I was, like this, Buck Rogers from 1942 and all stuff. But the general manager looks over to see what we're looking at from across, and he's like, "What the hell? I can see like there's like a blemish on the cover by the gun and stuff." He's like, "I can see there's a blemish on the cover from here," and I'm like, I looked at him. I said, first of all, it's only a 4.0. So yes, there's some blemishes on the book. I don't know if you understand how that grading scale works. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, but I mean, I can see it from here." I said, "Dude, it's from 1942. It is 80 freaking years old. Let's see how you look in 80 freaking years, dude." I mean, it's like...
never give up on your dreams, Aggressive.
Oh, man.
That was one of the things that Aggressive clued me in on. Like, I found out a lot of stuff about after the fact, and apparently the writer of ISOM is affiliated with some news thing or something that Glenn Beck is. No, news.
Oh,
and that was a good point that he made. It's like that news outlet. When the people associated with it write a book, they'll bulk buy a lot of it just to pump it to a number one selling position as a marketing thing, and then sell it. I'm wondering if the ISOM thing got that same large scale buy and push. Which, I mean, if you have that ability to do it, there'd be no reason not to. You know what I mean? What is going up there? Went Bart. What is going on, Bart?
What's up? It's been a while.
I think you're muted, Bart.
You're muted, man.
Oh, shit.
Chris, is it?
Yeah, I'm thinking, Marcus, that they did the same thing with ISOM to give it that initial boost, which if they have the ability to do that, there's no reason not to. I mean, that's a good sales card, just from a selling standpoint.
Awesome, Kyle.
You think that there's potential to build up hype on something without actually, that might not be real? Wait a second.
Yeah, I think so, which is kind of ironic, like for the people.
Don't you think?
The people who are so against the current comic book marketing culture to do such a thing, but I can't imagine them not doing it with the ability to. Needless to say, the book was okay. It wasn't great. wasn't bad. It definitely was not $35 worth of material and work into it, though.
But it's going for way more than that. So if it's not worth $35, it's not worth whatever it's going for on eBay, right?
Well, those are the people inside that echo chamber wanting to
hype
get their hands on it. Like, if you're not actually in comic culture, because that's the majority of the people that are following it, buying it, picking it up. They don't actually comic book. They just listen to people complain about comic books and validate them for not buying comic books, But
That's
you don't like comic
thing.
books. I'm telling you don't like comic books. And then they're like, yeah, I don't like them. You said they're bad. They're bad.
Yeah. It'd be like me listening to people complain about wrestling. Like, I don't watch wrestling, so why would I do
that? That's exactly what it is. Is people that don't complaining about comic book culture, and the only insight they have is these people who are telling them BS about comic books, that are just complaining about like a sliver of a corner of an entirety of a culture. And then they're selling it. Then they're selling it to them. They're like, because you don't read comic books because they're bad. I told you they're bad. I'm going to sell it for a ridiculous price. And I've caught a little video where they're like, or people in the comment section of that video were very insightful, like giving me tons of information. Like there's hundreds of comments in there and conversations that were had. And one of the people pointed out, like, you can't compare this price tag to like DC, because in my video I pointed out like Superman Space Age is like 90 pages for $10 with no ads. And I'm not trying to say that they should be able to pull off the same thing being a small publisher, but if you take like I have other indie books just sitting around, like other creator owned books. This is a creator owned book and it's like it's $4. That's what they were able to sell this at, $4.
It was a Kickstarter, right?
No, not initially. So the guy who wrote it just he set aside, I think, like $10,000 to self-fund it, to get it drawn, to get it written, to send it to print. And then after it was all of that, then they opened up pre-sale. So once it was paid for, it's now just print to order, One, you know what I'm saying? He paid for it on the front end, then just made it print to order. And he had it print to order for an extremely long time and kept kicking the days back because it kept selling. And then eventually when it was time just to like quit pissing people off and to fulfill the orders, they cut off the open order for it and then started shipping them. And at that point, when they cut off the open order, there were still some available. So he clearly compensated for the cutoff time to have some on there. You know what I mean? Which there's nothing wrong with this. And if your goal is to create something and let it make money so you can continue to do it, he did it right. You know, just push it and get as much. When it started tapering off, I guess they decided to close it out and have ordered a few extra to compensate for that closeout for the people that are coming in late. Yeah.
What's up, Bart? No, still no sound.
Do you know sign language, Bart? I know you're bilingual.
Maybe you need to go into your settings and change the mic. It might be going through something that doesn't have a mic.
Yeah, if you look on without leaving StreamYard, just look down and you'll see where it says settings. Hit settings, then hit audio, and then see where the microphone setting is at.
I know I have this problem whenever I try to do StreamYard from my phone. It never works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, Bart, good point. When you go to our messages, instead of clicking on the link, copy the link, and then open your internet and paste it into your internet.
Oh yeah,
I have to do that every time. I can't
do that too.
If I'm on my phone, I can't click the link. I have to copy it and take it into the internet. But ISOM's definitely an interesting point of conversation. There's just a lot about it.
All right, well, there you are.
I'm excited to so Ryan saw the hype around it as well, and he had ordered one, and it just took forever to get to him because he didn't notice it till the very end because Ryan didn't social media much, and he saw it when he was at work when it was like on some news thing.
You know, I just figured out what it means in ISOM.
What is it?
In search of money.
That's accurate. That would be the number one contender if you ask me.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
I mean, it could be in search of whatever you like, but yeah, in search of money. Now it makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
He succeeded, though.
I'm excited to hear what Ryan says about it because Ryan has read and reviewed more creator-owned books than anybody I know.
Yeah.
That used to be a shtick for over a year straight. Every week he would drop a video with him and the creator of said book where they were breaking down and talking about it. And that's what people would like find him and reach out to him to do that.
And they would be on screen with him while he reviews their book?
Mm-hmm.
That's just uncomfortable.
We are ISOM. We used to be Legion, but we are ISOM now.
But the thing with Ryan is he's a writer, you know, so it's not like he's critiquing their work. He's more of like asking them and wanting to explore their methodology. You know, his job is
he's talking about it.
Work, yeah. Like he comes from a very specific angle that most other people wouldn't in that situation.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, hey, welcome Jimmy Smith over here. I just read his book. It absolutely blows.
Yeah.
Well, Jimmy,
let me ask you a question. When you sat down to write this book, did you set out to just completely waste our time, or
were you on glue or not? Is what I want to know.
Yeah.
Were you huffing gasoline out of a paper bag?
By issue 2, will the story actually be worth a damn, or will you return my phone?
What I want to know is, can I get a refund?
On my time.
Now that we're both
forget the money, you can keep the money, but can I have those minutes of my life back?
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle just came to mind. You would never get your money back.
Oh, jeez.
Why do you suck at comics?
Why do you suck so bad?
I just got another.
Why did you even bother, man? Seriously.
I bought a whole set of Dark Victory, and that's another thing I forgot that I picked up. It's being delivered today, so that's awesome.
It's like, are you a masochist? Why not just go online and post something stupid and then you get flamed faster?
Yeah.
Well.
Did
Exactly.
Let's see.
What were you thinking?
Comes in.
First off, I really hope you haven't quit your day job.
You hear?
Is it working now, Bart?
Oh, so close.
0 for 3.
Do you have headphones in? That might be what's messing you up. Do your headphones have a microphone?
Hear me now?
Yes. Yeah, we hear you.
Yes. No,
Now, you're muted now. You just muted yourself.
Yeah, it worked for a second.
We can't hear you, man.
These damn headphones is what he's saying.
Yeah.
No, physically, you have the mute button.
You got to hit the mute button, Bart. Unmute yourself.
Hello.
There you go.
No?
There you are.
It's working.
It's working.
Oh no, we got
Oh,
Echo.
Really bad.
really bad echo.
No.
That's what happens.
That's what happens when you use the speaker.
And now?
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you, but when we talk, we hear
Oh, there you go.
ourselves.
Okay. Now we don't hear ourselves. Yeah.
No, it's
Can you
okay
hear
or
that?
not?
Yeah,
That's good. That's much better.
Yeah, okay. Just a moment.
Yes.
Woo!
What she sees
seems to be working.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to take a trip to Romania.
All
It's
right.
that time of the day.
Have fun.
You give those Romanians hell, Bob.
Yeah.
No, they're doing the Lord's work for me over there, and we give the salespeople hell. We tell them no.
Fair enough.
It is great.
Well, you give them your virtual hugs and kisses.
I had one of those great fun conversations with my boss the other day where I asked her, I said, "Hey, are people complaining about me?" And she goes, "No, you're slipping." I said, well, maybe it's not. Maybe it's that they gave up complaining because I'm always right.
You're losing your touch, Rob.
Because I say no a lot. I'm just usually justified when I tell salespeople no. All right, I gotta run. Talk to you guys later.
All right, man.
Bye.
So now that Bart's here, I think that everybody on the panel has seen Black Adam. Jim.
Who?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw Thursday night before the opening.
Have y'all talked Black Adam today? Because we haven't done a Friday where we just talk.
No.
Like it's fair to spoil now.
Can I say the likes and dislikes, or is this only likes only?
Oh yeah, hit the dislikes too. I want to argue with you.
That's what he didn't want to hear.
My dislikes are all like superficial in a way. I liked the Cyclone character.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't like the way the special effects looked, how they did it. I was
think
hoping
that
they
was a taste thing because I'm dude. I was like that was smooth. I love the Cyclone.
Yeah, I like.
He's not the first one to tell me about that.
I was fixated on more like a red tornado type thing. Like I don't know. And I loved Adam Smasher. Adam Smasher was my dude. I loved it.
There's a lot of just taste things like that because, like, for example, like Ryan, he that was like his big dislike was just the comical relief of Adam Smasher. But I loved it. I even laughed the second time around with him.
Yeah, I think that's sort of like in the playbook of both Marvel and DC. You have to have a little lightness because Black Adam is straight up
he was light
serious.
Already.
I mean, he's like, you gotta have a balance.
That this right here, that for me just completely put me over. Hawkman was.
Yeah. And the guy they picked was amazing.
I've
loved him for a long time. He did that. Remember that show he did a couple years back where they were all like specialist cons? I can't think of the name of the show. He was like the computer hacker guy. Then they had one that was a thief, and another one, and they would always go out and help people in a way. And I can't think of the name of the show now. But he was really good in it.
I think he's supposed to be the Green Lantern in the Snyderverse.
I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to pick somebody. I wish they picked the guy that plays Diggle on the Flash.
Please don't.
Yeah,
God, no.
I think he
what
would
is wrong
be
with
good.
you, Jim? Jesus Christ! All right, I think Jesus Christ! Keep the CW actors away from the silver screen,
please.
Let's build something new, something good. Like, there's nothing wrong with the actor who plays Diggle. He's great as Diggle. We don't need a Diggle Green Lantern. John Stewart's Green Lantern. We have so many Green Lanterns. Why would you let Diggle be a Green Lantern instead of just doing a Green Lantern?
No, I mean, he would play John Stewart. But you saw Boss Logic's Instagram, right?
Yeah, but that wasn't Diggle that he did.
No, that was the other guy. And he's on This Is Us, and he's really good too.
Yeah, is that the guy who played in the Jordan Peele movie?
Oh, no.
Will you look that up? Because I couldn't tell who the actor was that Boss Logic did the mock-up with. But
he's on This Is Us, but I don't know.
Sterling.
I heard Kevin Hart was going to be Justin.
Yes.
Yes.
You can't hit a target if it's too small. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I know. Nah, he'll probably play Chip.
Yeah, Sterling K. Brown.
That would be the voice of the Squirrel Lantern.
But my thing with John Stewart and introducing you don't want somebody like who's too old. And I don't mean like senior citizen, but in my mind, you want to get somebody that can kind of be around for a while. Like, I hope that they're casting with the expectation that it performs well and we get to use them again and we get to carry them on at least like think in the 10-year span, you know what I mean? Like three good movies or appearances here and there in between them.
Yeah.
I don't want some kind of movie universe that goes like forever because it runs out. You know what I mean? You need to have like a beginning, a middle, and end with a flashpoint or something. Then give us some years off.
We've already seen this generational thing. The movies, the DC movies, the Marvel movies, always kind of like for a generation, and then they
they cut her out. Yeah, they don't cross hands. They literally bookend and that's it.
That's why people have their Superman, their whatever, right? Like,
right.
I think Superman's a bad example. Everyone, no matter what you say or think, Christopher Reeve is your Superman.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I love him, but I'm just saying there are people that said like, that's my guy. That's my guy.
Oh, I completely agree. I just like to pick about Superman because I think Henry Cavill plays an excellent Superman. He plays a perfect Superman, but Christopher Reeve is Superman. That's the only difference.
Yeah. But I mean, even when Brendan Routh came out, I mean, which everybody kind of glosses over.
Yeah, he was nobody's Superman.
Until when it came out, I'm saying people were like jazzed about it, and they were like, "Oh, he puts on such a great homage to Christopher Reeve."
Yeah, he really did.
I thought he was great. I don't know why everybody like glosses over him. I don't think
it's him or his performance. I think it was the movie as a whole that just didn't.
Yeah, the movie was just weird.
People,
but I mean, I don't know. He's one of those guys.
Did you see him in the Crisis CW?
Yeah, he was great in that. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was nice that they brought him back.
I was mad that they brought him back just to immediately sideline him and let Lex Luthor take his place.
Yeah,
I'm like, that was a waste.
He really looked like a Superman.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's physique is brilliant.
Oh, he did a great job. Some people just get held up by a bad script.
That was my Superman mark. Yeah, consciously he is, Trev, just not subconsciously. That's all.
So, circling back to Black Adam, what I liked, the whole story as a whole was amazing. I think The Rock was made for that character. I mean, his delivery was, man, I take a lot when I go to see a movie. When I get up at the end and I like, okay, I can see that again. To me, that's successful. Like, I will pay the money to see it again.
I did.
Yeah, and I probably will as well. I just, what I'm getting at is I've been to plenty and I'm like, not so much. Like the last Doctor Strange that John and I went to, I'm okay with not seeing it again.
Yeah, it's available to watch on Disney Plus, which I already have, and I still haven't.
Right.
It didn't really hold up on rewatch for me.
But that's what I'm saying. This one, to me, not going to have a problem paying the money at all.
Yeah.
I loved it when he took those two guys up in the air and he's like, whoever tells me gets
Don't kill him. I'm not going to kill him. I'm going to ask him where Amon is. The first one to tell me lives. The other one falls.
Yeah.
I'm not going to kill him. The ground's going to kill him.
Yeah.
There was one scene. There was one scene in the TV commercials that was not in the movie when he's flying in between two airplanes and he's like smashing one. Yeah. That was not in there. I did not.
Yeah. That didn't even dawn on me. Like,
it dawned on me because people were complaining about it, saying like that was just like in the Iron Man movie, and then it wasn't even in the movie. I thought that was really funny that it wasn't in the movie and people were complaining about it.
I liked how he caught on to sarcasm really fast, and they
he wasn't good at it though.
No. And he said, "Don't kill the guy," and he had already thrown him. And he says, "Yeah, I think he's dead." And you see him fall down. I was like,
he didn't make it.
He didn't make it. Yeah. I was like, I mean, you know what? Those things, I don't know. That was great. Dr. Fate was amazing.
See, that was I think they did that good with the humor of Black Adam came from him being like a man out of time and out of place. It wasn't because he was telling jokes or doing this or that. It was just the way that he interacts with a modern society, being himself is comical, you know, like because he's just so out of place with it. Yeah. It felt like the jokes in the first Thor movie, like that was taken seriously, but he's out of place. He's out of time. Like he orders a beer and says another and slams it on the table, you know, like that's funny if you take that from back in the Viking days and put it in our world.
Yes.
But if you go back into his time, that there's nothing funny about it. It's normal, you know.
Right. He's not actually telling a joke.
At one point where he was the guy who was like, "Did they not have doors in your period?" He kept busting through the wall. I don't know. I thought it just was put well together. I don't know how to describe it. I'm not as good as you and John are on. And at the end there, man, when he pretty much destroyed the drone.
Like Adam didn't do the split between two tanks. The Thor split.
But he did that whole Quicksilver sequence where he's just standing around and everything's flying by him and he takes that one grenade. Well,
yeah, you know what's cool? Like I've seen a couple of people like complain, "Oh, that's just ripped from X-Men." Like, well, no, that's just using super speed, and they did his super speed both ways. They showed you him like from our perspective and from his perspective. So anytime you do super speed, you only have what does it look like for someone who doesn't move fast, and what does it look like for someone who does. So anytime you're going to do it in any movie with someone with super speed, you're going to get one or the other or both. And this they did both. When this dude, you hear the quick little zip, zip, zip. Yeah, it was like the sound of magic, like being activated. And it was subtle, it was present, it was cool. But that slow mo scene was awesome. The fact that they wake him up and they show you just he decimates an entire small army. And you see him do it with his strength, with his lightning. You know, you see every aspect of it, the speed. And then we show you why Intergang should not be the primary focus as bad guys for this movie. We immediately step it up to
the my Black Adam.
Yeah. That's his new one. Oh, look at his ears. He gets all the channels
like a fox.
He is all ears.
Kind of does look like a fox.
Yeah.
I'm glad there's finally a movie being made where the main character doesn't have to hold back and show his raw power, the brutality. You're never gonna see that with Superman.
No.
Unless he's against one of his own powers. So
yeah.
Or against like Mongol, that would be awesome. That's why I want a Mongol. War World comes and all of a sudden, all right.
I read something about that online that would make sense if Mongol showed up because of there's a reason for him to be on Earth with Mongal having been in Suicide Squad and kicking the bucket.
Yeah, she definitely didn't make it.
Reason enough for him to show up and go, "Hey, where's my daughter?"
Yeah.
If they're planning a sequel to the Snyder Cut universe, they definitely gonna need Black Adam.
Yeah,
because
everybody they can get.
Everybody else from the Justice League, they won't make it without some of the Superman.
Yeah, that's good. But if they decide to follow suit, like do the movies that are already scheduled and then let Darkseid arrive, because if they want to solidify the Snyder Cut, Darkseid's on the way. So if they give us the entire next year of scheduled movies, that are already scheduled, then let 2024, let Darkseid start to show up. We know that like Superman's taken over by Anti-Life. We know Aquaman is dead. We know Wonder Woman is dead. We saw the ragtag team that was left behind. You know what I mean? With like Batman, the Flash, Mira. They're going to need a heavy hitter. So that's cool that they have introduced another heavy hitter. And the fact
is that like a dream scene from Batman, or is that like actual reality?
It was a premonition of the future to come.
But it doesn't mean it has to. It doesn't
have to take place. But it would be cool if they let it. If we got some time in there, because we know how it all ends. Like it all ends with the Flash having to correct it. You know what I mean? Let that play out. Like that's your ultimate end game, is letting that world come to be, and the Flash is the key to reset it. And when you reset it, you now, like what we talked about, you've bookended your movie saga, and then you can do whatever you want next. Give it some time to simmer out, bring in new actors, actresses, characters, whatever you want to do. But the trick is you still got to use characters that people are anchored to. You, like Marvel showed us that you can't just grab characters from the last 3 years that you want people to like, that you want people to have some kind of deep ties to. Just because you tell them you have those ties doesn't mean that they do. I mean, these are comic books. Like they're you got to really. It sounds cliche, but you got to listen to the fans. If you don't give the fans what they want, it's not going to hold.
Oh, they'll still make their money, unfortunately.
Yeah, I see Mad Spidey pussied out.
Nah, he went to bed. He was on here for a while. He's like, I gotta go to sleep.
Hey, you're not on here, Bo.
He said S stands for.
I have about 10 minutes, and I have to open my restaurant. So.
What are we having this week? What's the special?
I'm open 15 years today, so.
Oh, nice!
Nice, congratulations!
Show him the tie. Let's see the tie.
Nice.
That's great.
Y'all plan on being busy? Y'all doing a special?
Yeah, we have like champagne and snacks, chocolates, everything.
All right, I'll be there in just a few minutes.
Yes, you're welcome.
No excuses, Bo. You hear Mad Spidey's misses all the time sleeping here.
Yeah, we would love to hear your Mrs. snore.
It's 1:15 p.m.
Trev said congrats on 15. Bart, I'll send you some photos here in a little bit, man. I finally got the room cleared out here, so I'm about to bring all your stuff in here in just a minute.
Okay. I can probably hit you back up like in 5 hours or something. Then my shift is over.
Yeah, that'll be good. That way you could just video call me and we can go through all the stuff, make sure I don't miss anything.
Sound good.
Did anybody watch the Game of Thrones show?
I think Tyler.
Yeah, I finished it last night.
Feel free to talk.
So that was the last one, right?
No, there's going to be more season.
The last episode.
Well,
But I meant last episode for the. I was like, as soon as she said, "I'm sending my boys out as emissaries and messengers or whatever," I was like, one of these guys is gone for sure.
Oh, yeah.
There were some amazing shots of the dragon, the two dragons in the air, and how much bigger
the other one is.
Dude, that dragon was way bigger.
But I actually liked the episode before that, where the lady, like the one mother that's just been beat down, she's lost all her kids, her husband's on his deathbed. And she goes downstairs and gets her dragon and comes up through and is like, "In your face, sucker!"
Dude, I thought she was gonna kill him for a second.
I did too.
But...
I thought she was gonna go Dracarys and just fry.
Well, that's how it would have been a 1-season show.
Yeah.
Everything's fixed.
We got rid of him. He's done.
I don't know. There's always, but then there'd be more people after the throne. There's always just so many people after the throne. You could just go forever.
Right.
Yeah, you get just someone else.
But I mean, that was the difference between. I'm assuming that's the difference between the adult dragon and that it's like the kid had a smaller, younger dragon.
No. They said that that girl before was had the largest dragon by far, and then he took it when he was a kid. So it wasn't like a kid dragon or adult dragon. I don't think. I think it's like legitimately that's just the biggest dragon.
It's just the biggest dragon. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was way bigger than I thought.
I mean,
is the show any good? Is it better than the Game of Thrones last season?
Definitely.
Oh, it's better than the final season.
Yeah.
Better than the final season. I mean, it's right in the vein. I mean, people.
It's great. I've really enjoyed it.
I hope they can make it up with there's coming out like a kind of a sequel with Jon
Snow.
Jon Snow.
Yeah.
So hopefully
that'll be cool too.
You can make it up a little bit.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, I'm hoping they don't do more. Basically, what the original show is called, Game of Thrones. If it's Jon Snow, I hope it's like a completely different story. You know what I mean? That's not just about the throne.
Yeah.
Which it won't be, right? Because his brother is on it, but
him at the watch or him up north, right? So it should be different.
Yeah,
it should be different.
So on him, right?
But it would be like cool to at least know what happened with Khaleesi, what happened with the dragon that flew her away. That's that kind of stuff. They just throw that in there.
Yeah, it could creep into the show.
I hope so.
Yeah. But I mean, what's his show going to be? Like really the bear? Like
disappointing ending.
Yeah. We'll see.
It's just going to be him surviving in the wild.
Yeah,
she's come back. And
The Revenant, starring Jon Snow.
Yeah.
Except with a demon bear.
Exactly.
There's no zombie army left. It's just going to be him, like looking at the snow. Like, that's all
yeah.
Just him looking at it.
This is good. This is great. I'm just sitting here.
Yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the last 2 episodes, I think, more than anything in the whole show.
That's what I said.
Build up.
The last 2 episodes were the best because they were the last 3 were back to back to back, and there was no time jump where we were like, "What is going on?" The first 30 to 40 minutes of the show.
Correct.
I love every single one of the episodes, and I think I sort of knew there was going to be a time jump. I think somewhere along the line I found out there were 2 actors playing the girls and stuff. So
yeah, I knew the whole time as well, and it didn't make me like hate the episode or anything. I just wanted it to be closer together because I liked it.
Well, I didn't like those. At least Rainier, I didn't like that actress at first, and then by the time she by the time she was gone, I loved her.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And then they aged her.
Exactly.
So it took me a minute to like her, and then once I did like her, they were like, "Oh, getting the fuck out."
Yeah, we're dumping her. We're going with an older woman now.
We're gonna sell you on this girl so we can get rid of her.
She wasn't here long enough either to become a big star, so everyone's just gonna forget about her, and she'll just be doing sitcoms.
Well, she's the rumor for Spider-Gwen.
Spider-Gwen, yeah, she's the rumor for Spider-Gwen.
Oh, she'd be a good Spider-Gwen. So
she's the right age, so that's all that really matters.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like she showed a lot of excitement in her acting because that was her character. But
can
you imagine her being Spider-Gwen and then like people that like young kids and stuff to get introduced to her as Spider-Gwen, they go and Google her.
Yeah,
find her Game of Thrones scenes.
What'd she do with her uncle?
Yeah. I could just see it on the porn site videos. Is just Spider-Gwen fucks her uncle. It's like,
Exactly.
That's probably already up there.
Underage.
Yeah, it's
already up there.
I'm sure it is.
15-year-old Spider-Gwen fucks her uncle.
Yeah, that was an awkward scene.
Head out. Talk to you later.
Who have sex with
Bye.
somebody.
All right, Bart. I'll talk to you after a while, man.
Good
All
luck
right.
with today.
Thank you.
Now, where is he located?
Belgium.
Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
That's like 20 minutes from you, right? It's right down the street.
23. Yeah,
It's down the street.
But he's not He's not Belgian though, is he?
Yes.
He is Belgian. Okay.
Yeah.
I wish they would do a time jump and show Westeros when the world first gets trains.
Yeah. His name is Bart. His restaurant's called Bart's, and then it's like a word that's associated with restaurants. I don't know how to pronounce it, but his whole restaurant is American themed, and they have like a bunch of like actual Bart Simpson memorabilia decorating it and stuff.
Red Solo cups. I went to something that was American themed in Poland, and they had red Solo cups everywhere. That was like,
yes, that is amazing.
And like people were wearing like jerseys and stuff, and you know what I mean. It was like, it's funny. It was funny to see it because it was like, you know, when we do, because we half-ass all of our, you know, because everyone thinks they're German or Polish or whatever here, even though their ancestors came here 100 years ago. And, you know, it makes me think the way we half-ass stuff, because when I saw it, it was pretty good. There's another, you can find an article if you like look up Russians have American parties or something like that. And it was very similar.
I'm afraid to search that.
Yeah, you should be afraid to search that. You might find that Spider Gwen on Uncle video.
Yeah.
Mom?
Mom?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Spider Gwen bangs Doctor Who.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, that is Doctor Who, isn't it? I don't watch enough Doctor Who. I knew he looked familiar.
Like, what was it, episode 2, where he was like banging the prostitute? I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah, well, I mean, he can get in his TARDIS and change everything.
Yeah.
That's cool that he was Doctor, because I don't watch Doctor Who. I just follow it because of the nerd stuff a little bit, right? And I mean, because I think he plays this part great. You know?
Oh no, he's great in this.
Yeah.
I only know him from a couple of movies like Terminator Genesis and what is it?
Morbius.
Morbius, yeah. Like, so like,
I don't remember.
I'm a total goofball fanboy for Terminator stuff, even when they're not like good quality. Like my favorite, like the best action movie of all time is definitely T2.
Like,
I agree. I'm the same with Predator. Predator and Terminator, I like them all, but I don't remember that actor in it.
Yeah, well, Matt Smith played Skynet. How Skynet in Terminator Genesis was no, that wasn't in that one. Yeah, it was. Yeah, he was. He was Skynet, like when they were just like digitized Skynet talking to him and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
I guess
I know he was in one of them.
I definitely saw him, but I only vaguely remember
a lot of those movies. And I like when I'm watching Terminator Genesis, I'm like, this clearly isn't up to par with what they've done in the past, but it's hard to top T2. But I still had a blast watching it. I've watched it numerous times. I love Dark Fate. I absolutely love the new one. It had problems, sure, had a bunch of them, but
but the new one was good though, I thought.
Yeah.
I loved T3 back in the day, and everyone gave me shit, but I just remember I watched it at home, and I was alone at home. I watched it, I was like, this movie's fucking awesome, and then I would tell people, and they would be like, they would shit on me for it or joke.
Reference for like that was kind of like a good point of reference for filmmaking when we're splitting from practical effects and going to straight CG. Because that movie has some next level practical effects that they were doing, like with the crane operating truck chasing and stuff. But then they would have little blended elements of CG into it. Like they would actually swing the crane, but they would have like a CG person on it instead of doing the whole truck CG. And it was that's just a really cool movie. Like you can tell people are still doing wire work, like when the Terminatrix is chasing them through the cemetery, and she finally runs and she jumps off the cliff, like she's on a wire. She's actually flying through the air. Like I'm like, dude, this is amazing. And I mess with Ryan because I'll rewatch stuff that I've seen when I'm laying in bed at night just to have noise playing to get me to like stop like wandering. And it took me like 3 weeks to watch Terminator 2. So I'm talking to Ryan like every day about how the 10 minutes that I caught before I fell asleep, because I'll just go back and start it at the last thing I remember.
Right.
I do that with podcasts, not with TV.
I do it with movies and stand-up comedy or debates. Stuff.
I think I've watched the first 15 minutes of Lord of the Rings like 120 times.
Yeah, that'll put you.
Just put it on the DVD and fall asleep to it. I get to where Gandalf like just got to the Shire and Yeah, wake up in the morning with the DVD menu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very fluent.
I've got notes for a video I want to make where there's a couple of movies, including that crane scene in Terminator, where the Toyota Tacoma kicks some ass. that Tacoma went hard. It really did.
I need to rewatch T3.
I've never seen that one. I've only
everyone
seen the first two.
Literally, me and Mark, I think, are the only people I've met that like it.
I like Salvation a lot. I think Terminator Salvation was next level good. I think that hit some major.
I like that one too.
Dude, I liked them all, and I liked every Predator. And so when a good Predator comes out, I'm like, oh man, this is even better. You know, when the actual good one comes out, you know what I mean? So, and I think that last Terminator was good. You know what I didn't finish? I didn't finish the TV show. Did you finish that TV show?
Oh, yeah, I've watched both seasons numerous times. I've even gone online looking for a season 3. I've gone online looking for a season 3 plot because the way that season 2 ends. So like Terminator, the TV show is called.
That's gonna make me not watch it.
It starred Lena Headey from Game of Thrones. She plays Sarah Connor. It is amazing. Yeah. Like the story and everything is next level good. And it ends with you find out that the main bad guy for both seasons, who's like this, it's a T-1000, and she's running a corporation that's associated with Miles Dyson's old corporation. And you think she's a bad guy the whole time. She's keeping Terminators alive that were after John in earlier episodes and stuff. But it comes to find out in the very end of season 2 that she's actually been setting up shop trying to find him just a different route. And you find out she's a good guy. Kyle Reese gets killed in the blink of an eye. Like, I mean, in a literal blink of an eye. Or Derek Reese, I'm sorry, Kyle's brother, who's been like your main, one of the main stars the whole time. All this stuff goes down, and they time jump into the future to escape from what was happening. And that was your big cliffhanger ending. And then you get no season 3. I'm like, this is the worst ending in history. So I still to this day, like every now and then, like I'll end up doing it today because you brought it up. I'll go see if anyone else would like put up like a primary like script writing just to get that episode 1 lead, you know, to see where it goes.
Or what you do is just go find someone that was in the writer's room or whoever the showrunner was, and just
message them.
Just add him on Twitter. You know what I mean? And just tell me what your ideas were. Because by now, if he reused them somewhere else, because sometimes writers don't want to do that because they might reuse some form of them somewhere else. You know, I mean, Kirby's famous for that, right? Fantastic Four, New Gods, and then Eternals, right? But sometimes they won't want to. But it's been long enough. He might just tell you, "Oh yeah, we were thinking about doing this and this," and then you just could die happy.
Yeah, I'm like, look, man, I'll video call you so you don't even have to write it. You can just tell me. There'll be no record of you saying this anywhere, please.
Or just interview him. Let him plug whatever he's doing now, but then be like, I got 30 minutes of Terminator TV show questions.
And I'll give you the last 10 to plug whatever you want.
Yeah, I may or may not have brought you here under false pretenses.
Yeah. Oh, shit, you went on mute, bro. I'm sorry. A pro call, edit it out or something.
Yeah, that was a really good show. Really, really.
Yeah, I need to watch it. For a while, it wasn't on streaming anywhere, and I checked them out of the library. I like rehooked up my DVD player. This is like a couple years ago, maybe like during the pandemic or just before it. And I watched a big chunk of them, but we had the baby and stuff, and so I didn't finish them. I go, I got to get back to this, and I never did. But I loved it.
Blu-ray. I bought them on DVD when they first came out, like because their timing and everything, like Blu-ray, especially box set TV shows. Or you're looking at paying like $60 to $80 for a box set TV show back then. So I bought it on DVD 1,000 times, and I've gone back and bought it on Blu-ray since.
Yeah, I mean, I might have checked out the Blu-ray. I don't know what it was. I can't remember, but
it's definitely worth it. It's super rewatchable. It really is. There's this scene where John Henry is the name of the T-800 that gets sent back in the first season. He gets his head blown off, but the head doesn't get damaged, so he's still active, and he ends up getting a body. He rebuilds a body and everything and reskins it. Very, very gruesome the way that he has to reskin a T-800 in our time era. But there's this scene where after he finally gets completed, the FBI was actually believing Sarah Connor for a moment, and they tracked him down, and they come to this it's like a hotel in California. It's like an outdoor, like a courtyard thing, like 2-story motel. And they're all coming in and they're swarming in on him. And then you get this awesome, like slow-mo scene when they try to kick the door and he just wrecks them all, and like bodies falling and all this and that. And everyone who ever believed Sarah Connor gets slaughtered in that moment. It was wild.
Maybe I'll wait a little bit to forget everything you just said.
Yeah.
Bro, this show's like a decade old now. So
oh, it's old. It's super old. I know.
That's on y'all for not watching good shit sooner. I try to do my part. But that's such a small part of the show. So I hope, like, if you think any of this sounds cool, you'll give the show a shot. You won't regret it for sure.
Yeah, no, I mean, I watched the first season, I think, or most of the first season. So
yeah, I like the actor who was like his pseudo stepdad. He's now known as Mayhem in those commercials, the insurance commercials.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He goes out like a champ.
Maybe I'll watch it.
There's like this.
I hate hearing about shows after the fact that I know got canceled on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Because then you have to invest. I'm going to be sitting down and investing 48 hours straight in watching a show that is not going to have a satisfactory resolution.
Well, I've got
it eats at you too, because Firefly. The only show I really did that for was Firefly. Maybe Earth 2.
Dark Matter.
Back in the 90s.
Did you ever watch Dark Matter?
Oh, Dark Matter is good too, but when I found out that it got canceled, I stopped in the middle of the third or fourth season. Or whatever.
Didn't the Serenity movie bookend the TV show for Firefly?
Yeah, but okay, one, that happened a little bit later. You know what I mean? And number two, you could see that it was like a rush job. Some comics did that got canceled during COVID. Like Ghost Rider, that Ghost Rider run before this one was really good. And then like you could tell that he had. The one right now is really good too, but you could tell that I think it was Percy. If it wasn't Benjamin Percy, it was the other guy that I get confused with. But it was really good, and it got canceled during COVID. And then during King in Black, they did like about the worst tie-in you could have, and like buttoned everything up. But it was just really bad, Yeah. So that was what Serenity was. It was okay, but yeah, they tried to button stuff up.
Like my goal now, after thinking about it here, is I'm going to convince Ryan to watch the Terminator TV show. And then after he watches it, Ryan's different. He'll just actually sit down and write the script for the next season. And then he'll post it to his Patreon for people.
Fan fiction.
Yeah, we'll get Ryan to complete this for us.
Yeah. Well, it might only be a paragraph, and you could read it on Instagram, though.
It gives me what I need. Well, no, he'll post it to his Patreon. He's got a lot of
Well,
stuff.
I guarantee you, dude. There's Jessica Connor's fan fiction for season 3 out there, and some of that gets rated. Right, so you can know what's shit and not. Like people will have read it and rated it. So I guarantee you, there's Jessica Connor fan fiction out there. Right, and then
Doctor Who in it. I don't care.
Lord,
dude, the early 10s was like a great time era for TV show. Like 2008 to 2012, like that was just firing on all. Like when Sons of Anarchy.
I would go even a little bit earlier. I would say like the mixture of a few years earlier. I would say even though they're different kinds of TV shows, the mixture of Sopranos and 24. You know what I mean? Like inspired a lot of good stuff.
Put it over too. But like FX came out strong. Like when they started hitting real strong when they were like airing the peak of Sons of Anarchy with Justified, and they just have like a huge catalog that people tuned in every week in real time.
But Sons of Anarchy is a function of Sopranos, though. I think.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all. I would say that time era when like that golden era of TV, because now streaming has changed so much. But people used to watch this stuff together, like collectively. Right. And you weren't watching it on, as many people didn't have smartphones and stuff. So you were sitting down in front of the television to watch it. You were anticipating it to be released on disc so you could watch it again or for the first time because you weren't able to watch it as it aired. And you'd have these huge networks of people that would talk about it. And like, it was a thing. You'd hear about it in the workplace. Even if you weren't watching it, there'd be people, like multiple people, getting you to want to watch it.
Get you to watch it. The only thing like that now is Game of Thrones. The only thing like that close to that right now is Game of Thrones, where people are watching it on the Sunday, and then talking about it
on Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe some Marvel shows, but then so many people.
But even with HBO Max, it's tapered a lot of that off because you have people now can watch it when they want. You don't have to sit down.
It's tapered it.
9 o'clock on Sunday to watch it. Like myself, I'm like, I just watch it when I get an opportunity to, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm way behind on it.
The 4400. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love the 4400, and then they just killed it. Another one that died on the vine.
Yeah.
There was a guy I worked with. I think that was the first 5 minutes of after Justified came on. Like the next day, we would do like a 5-minute synopsis of the show.
Justified,
we would just be we would kill the first 5 minutes at work of just talking about that show, and I was like, man, did you see what
that's Timothy Oliphant.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
5 minutes at work. So everyone got to talk 13 seconds.
No, it was just
All
me and the other
12 of
guy
us
going
would
back
talk
and
for
first.
5 straight minutes.
Yeah, we were
You
going
had a
back
shitty
and
boss,
forth.
dude.
We were going back and forth. It was just him and I mean, we would sit there, waiting for the coffee to finish being made and talking about the show. Might have been longer than 5 minutes.
And then you.
No, it was just funny how you
It was.
We got at least a couple minutes in.
Then you went into the foundry and had to work there.
Yeah, I was like, but I love that show.
But
That
the
one and
bunch
Sunday.
talking about how dreamy Timothy Oliphant was before they go into work.
Raylan.
Oh, Raylan Gibbon.
Here's the biggest thing. The guy that played on Justified. Yes. And what he did on Sons of Anarchy. I mean, it just, oh my God. I was like, whoa. What are you doing?
I didn't get to watch Sons of Anarchy because my wife doesn't like anti-heroes.
Man.
So she watches it and she'd be like, are they the good guys or are they the bad guys?
I don't know if there was any good guys on
there isn't. Yeah, there's none. When I tried to watch Sopranos with her when I met her, I tried to watch Sopranos with her when I met her and she didn't get it at all. She was like, why is he hurting people?
I went back and tried to binge watch Sons of Anarchy a handful of months ago, and for me, it didn't really hold up like when I first watched it. I don't know.
Maybe one of those not binge watch shows.
Yeah, it might be.
Some shows have to be watched week to week. I think they let your brain rest.
Yeah,
not
if
just
you
that,
see
like
it,
it accounts for the pacing of the show as well, because shows are made differently now too. Like they know this is going to release in bulk versus there's a week in between episodes. You know.
Yeah, exactly. They're 8 hour. They're 8 hour movies now.
You gotta watch Lost.
Yeah,
you can't watch Lost end to end. Like the only reason that show survived so long was because it was a weekly show.
You've never met John's Comments with Kids.
Watch that show.
He's rewatched that probably 8 times, and he did a series on his channel where every season they did like a 3-hour conversation about it. So there's one guy that can, but maybe others can't.
Box sets mock themselves. Would they have a little DVD extra that does like the season in like 30 seconds or something like that, or a 60-second recap of the last season? And when you like hear them talk about it, it's like they're acknowledging how goofy the whole thing is themselves on the DVD box set, and then they're like, "And now enjoy our garbage show."
Oh man,
Lost was it was great weekly, but I mean,
as it was happening, and when you thought, but I think the people that were watching it thought that there was, they were so amazed they thought there was a real direction to it, and now when we look back on it, it was like, what I mean, it's just a bunch of writers like jerking off on the table or something like that. See what sticks.
I watched
see what crazy ideas. I'm sorry, I forgot your channel.
No, it's correct. He's absolutely correct, and I didn't watch it all the way through. So,
oh my god!
After a while, I
just
like,
know when the final season happened, I wanted to sell all the box sets that I already had.
Yeah,
I was like, oh man,
I don't own any of that.
Well, did you I hesitate to bring this up because then Tyler will want to talk about it for an hour. But have you started the Dragon Ball anime yet?
No.
Oh, I'm out.
You're just reading it. Yeah. See, sorry.
You know what's funny is I've mentioned Dragon Ball so little. Like even my conversations about have been under 5 minutes, but Mark can't even stand it.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
I'm excited that you like it. I'm actually excited that you like it because I the last time I was on, I think here was when you were trying to think about reading it, and I was telling you no, like spend your time on something else. Like, what is it gonna like? How good can it be to spend that much time with it? And then I was happy to see how much you loved it.
Yeah, it's like
I'm not gonna start reading that fucking shit.
But
yeah,
no,
that's why
I don't know if I'll watch the anime. Probably not. It's just really long-winded, is what I've heard. And
yeah, well, they have the one that cuts it down. I was gonna tell you, like someone did an edit.
The version of the book that you're reading, Tyler, are they put into American format, or you happen to read them backwards?
You have to read them the correct way, which is backwards to us.
Yeah, manga, so it's backwards.
Why wouldn't they just like edit them to format American format?
To flip it, yeah.
I mean,
well, they do sometimes, but this is what I tell everyone that complains about manga. Do you know how to drive stick? Because it's literally a 10-minute problem. Like if you start reading it, you're gonna get over it pretty quick.
Yeah,
I didn't. Yeah, I had
like
never
that.
read manga.
That's a good analogy.
I had never read manga, and I got over it in about 4 pages.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get over it pretty quick.
Especially when it's
dizzy,
good.
like thinking about doing it. It makes me dizzy just picturing myself trying to.
Yeah. Well, you've known about manga for 30 years, and you've thought about it every time someone brought it up. If you would just read one manga, you'll never have to think about that again.
Yeah, that's true. But I just don't give a shit about any manga. That's valid.
It's good shit. You know what's interesting though? There's some like artier manga that Drawn and Quarterly puts out. And for some reason they make that a lot of those are in the American way. Like they flip them over.
They flip it. That's
yeah, and you would think that group would be the last group that would want it, you know. But they do flip it over to the American. You know, a handful of them aren't. Some of them really won't work because there's you know, like the if you draw in too much of the if you draw into the art too much of the sound effects, you know, it starts looking funny. But
yeah,
right.
Oh hell yeah! Are they caressing? That's amazing.
That's good.
Look at your portrait studio.
Oh my god!
That just shows that anyone could make up, no matter what enemy you have.
That's right.
You can make up He-Man
and Skeletor.
He-Man spooning Skeletor.
Yeah,
on your
baby
shirt.
ET, with baby ET.
Oh Lord.
Is Orko there?
No. Orko's out of the picture.
Yeah, I mean he might be inside his pants.
Drove them apart in the first place.
Yeah.
Once he was gone, they realized they truly loved one another.
Yeah, I wish someone would have made a cooler version of He-Man. You know, no one really got that right.
I think Dolph Lundgren nailed it.
Kevin Smith.
I do like that movie, but it's different. You know who did a good version of He-Man?
Not
Chip Zdarsky's first ever written book that no one remembers was awesome, and it was like a play on He-Man.
Kaptara?
And it was really good. And then the artist just quit comics, and so he really never got to continue it. I think he might continue it on his Substack, he said.
Kaptara?
Kaptara. That's a He-Man ripoff.
Yeah.
Great.
Totally.
I've
Totally
read
ripoff of
but
He-Man.
I didn't know it was a He-Man.
It's
ripoff.
ridiculous.
Well, I mean, there's just a bunch of characters he just makes up that should be toys.
Everyone knows what you're talking about. He said a book that no one remembers and everyone's read it.
Yeah.
Except me. I'm like,
Oh, I'm glad you guys read it. Well, I mean, Zdarsky got famous, so people go back and read his old stuff too. You know, the same with Ron V.
Really?
I think it's his first written. I think it's his first written work that isn't like, you know, some indie thing or something. I think it's his first written work. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
I'm sure you could find something he did, like, you know, showed up with a con that he photocopied himself or something, but I'm pretty sure it is.
I've met that guy. He's awesome. He's such a goof.
Oh. He's the only newsletter of all the newsletters I get from comic people. He's the only one I go right to when I see it.
Oh yeah, I read it. Totally read it.
Right away.
In the back of one of the issues of Sex Criminals, because I would always read his letters page. It's like the best letters page. Him and Matt Fraction would respond like to the letters that were written, and some of the letters I was sure was fake. And in one of them, Matt was mentioning how he wasn't signing any more autographs, and then at conventions or whatever, and Chip chirps back that he's only signing copies of Crystar the Crystal Warrior from now on. This is an old obscure Marvel title.
Yeah.
And something else. It was something stupid. It had nothing to do with comics. So he was up here in London, Ontario, which was not too far from where I live. And so I showed up with like the entire run of Crystar the Crystal Warrior for him to sign. And he did. He's like, "Oh, you're one of those guys." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, man."
he's probably had to do it a couple times.
Oh, so I got a picture of him. He actually said I was the first one because that issue had only come out like the month before.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, I brought the entire run of Crystar the Crystal Warrior. And not only did he sign all of the covers, he drew a really offensive picture on issue number 7 or 8. It's got Nightcrawler doing a bamf on the front cover with just this kind of clear green background. So he literally drew Cyclops like piggybacking him.
That's funny.
But you can see Cyclops' nuts on the bottom, so you kind of know that he's kind of boinked him a little bit, maybe. So it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Yeah, he's good on his. He has a podcast called Manga Splaining, where originally it was his friends showing him new manga, but they're like 80 episodes in or something. So he's read a good chunk of manga now. But that's good too. And he comes in there with a different perspective on stuff because obviously he's a writer of Western comics. So
yeah. Oh, he's really funny. He's set up his own convention outside of the Toronto Comic Con. His own convention being just like a little booth he set up on the sidewalk outside.
I remember when he did that. That was funny.
Yeah, and then he did one in a hotel room. I think a couple years later, he did ChipCon, and it was in a hotel in Toronto. And people would come into the hotel, and he'd be like literally in bed in a robe, and he would let people come in.
What?
Yeah,
he's done crazy things. I think he's not doing cons anymore, right? He's like really afraid. He's like he has some kind of lung issue, so he's like really afraid of COVID. He's like it doesn't even live in the city.
COVID and anything like that.
Yeah, way before that. Yeah, I think that hotel one was just before COVID. I think that was 2019, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was so sick, but great.
Yeah. But he went to go live in the forest of British Columbia, away from everyone.
That's where he is now, BC.
Yeah, I don't think he's doing cons, or if he did, he just did his first one again.
Okay.
At one of these. Yeah, if he did, he just started back. But for a long time, he was like, I don't know if I'm going again. And then went to BC and like lives in BC. I think he still has his house in Toronto, but
yeah, manga is porn. Probably. All manga is porn.
Yeah.
Well, some of it is.
No, everything.
I'm hoping it turns into porn when I start reading it. I'm like, I hope there's some boobs here.
Yeah, I can't.
And then I get to the end and there's none. I'm like,
I was disappointed when I opened up Dragon Balls and I didn't see any balls in it.
Well,
I'm like, these are not the balls that was expected.
I'm pretty sure it's like page 3 that there's balls in Dragon Ball.
Yeah. I just want to say that I was the opposite of disappointed and relieved when there were no balls in it.
Children's balls, like right away.
Well, children's balls don't count.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, he is naked running around there at the beginning.
He is. Yeah, it is right away. You see balls.
Not dragons though.
And that's when you knew it was a go.
That's what sold me.
Nice. You're like child nudity. I'm
and then you see Bulma, who's like 14, I think. See her naked, see her butt, boobs. It's a different time, I think.
You disturbed me.
Different time and country.
Yeah.
It's a special place.
Well, I know. I follow a manga translator on Twitter.
Yeah.
And
Flash Ray.
One
That's
time,
like issue 2.
Oh, that's funny.
He's like slapping her there. He's like, "Where are your balls?" It's something.
Oh my god!
I should go find that on Shonen Jump. Are you reading it online or are you reading it?
I'm reading it on the Shonen Jump app.
On the app, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
$2 a month.
That's what I pay. I've decided to start getting my money's worth out of it. So I started Bleach. I'm like on chapter 10 of Bleach. I might start Dragon Ball 2. We'll see. Just for the hell of it.
Just flew through it. Although Dragon Ball Super has definitely slowed down, but I'm in a good arc now.
Yeah. So okay, I'm gonna go to work, guys.
All right.
See you guys later.
Yeah, I gotta head out too. It is like getting on 11 here, and I got to get over to the shop.
All right. So. See you, Chris. See you, Chris.
What?
All right. Sorry, man. I gotta.
Last day. Good luck.
Put this off, but
sell some books.
Yeah, last day.
Hope it goes well, man.
Thanks, guys. All right, I'll talk to you later. Okay.
Yep. Have a good one.
Bye.
Oh, Trev said Bleach is amazing, and it's his favorite anime. I don't know what Bleach is. Comic Journey, I do not like Dragon Balls. Yes, you do, Comic Journey. We all know you like Dragon Balls.
We know that's true, and I can't find the book I'm looking for. Damn it. I watched all of the. Well, I don't know what year that came out, the Hero Academia stuff, but my son watched it, and I would sit over there and watch it with him because I was kind of interested in see whether or not this kid was going to make it, because every time he used his power, he got fucked up, and I was like, "Oh my god, that looks painful." So,
yeah, I've watched. I think I'm on season 4 of My Hero Academia, and I haven't watched it in a couple months now. I need to continue it, but I've loved everything. Well, there's been like 3 episodes that were terrible, but besides those 3, it's been great.
Yeah, well, I enjoyed it.
I can never remember anyone's name in it though, because there are like 50 characters, and they all go by 2 or 3 names: their first name, their last name, or their superhero name. So Izuku Midoriya, they call him Izuku sometimes Izuku Midoriya, sometimes Midoriya, and sometimes Deku. How the fuck am I supposed to remember 50 characters' names that do that?
Right.
No chance. And they even introduce them at every episode. They like show their fucking name on screen, and it doesn't help me at all. I'm like, I'm sorry. I just know you're the frog person. You shoot shit out of your belly button.
Right.
Like, that's what I know.
There was like a chain guy. There was like a guy that used chains a lot.
Yeah,
that's it.
Him. That's how we know him.
And the fire guy. And then there was,
the fire and ice guy.
Yeah.
I do know him. He's Todoroki or whatever. But
I did like One Punch Man. I loved One Punch Man.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've ever watched that.
1. Oh yeah, that's what got me into all this. I was like, season 1, episode 1 of One Punch Man literally had me going. I think anime. I'd never expected it to be so funny.
My son was like, "Listen, I'm going to show you this show. It's called One Punch Man, and you're going to love it." And I was like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah, watch it." And I did, and I was like, is there another episode we can watch? Because that was amazing.
Dude, the animation, it's funny because I think a lot of animation that I've at least seen parts of has not been good. Animation of One Punch Man is so fucking good.
Yeah, I agree. As a matter of fact, again, this is my litmus is, can I watch it again? And I could absolutely go downstairs right now and sit down and watch several episodes and be like, okay, I didn't waste my time at all because this is awesome.
It's funny, action-packed. The animation's amazing. Characters are easy to understand.
Yep.
And Moomin Rider. I just got... Do I have it? Here, let me grab
it. Mark asked what I was looking for in Baltimore. I need to get I think it's Marvel Spotlight.
I'll make myself big so you can actually see it.
Yeah.
I got Moomin Rider.
There you go.
He is a superhero, and his superhero thing is that he can ride a bike. He's a Class C hero. Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why am I not small now? There we go.
Yeah. Mark asked what I was getting in Baltimore. I do need to get issue. It's the Marvel Fanfare, Marvel Spotlight issue 11, where the Beast from the X-Men. That's the only one I'm missing. I have all the other ones, 12, 13, 14, 15, but I don't have issue 11, which is the first one. So I think that's what I'm going to go for. I don't really have any. This is the first time I'm going with absolutely no direction of. I don't know. Like I said, I just first I wasn't thinking about buying stuff. It's more just to go hang out with people and socialize. I'll buy some prints for sure. Stop showing off your Dragon Balls.
Shinron. Although I know him as Shenlong because that's his name in the manga, and they change it in the anime to Shinron. I didn't know that until I bought it. Yeah, it's the 10-inch pop, just like my Goku.
Right. Mm-hmm. Man, that's big. I have 1, 2, 3. I have 4 pops. That's it. I'm not gonna get any more unless they come out with a new Voltron.
Unless you said unless
it's Voltron.
You have the Voltron, right?
Yeah, I have 2 actually. I have a big one and a little one, and I don't know if there's like more, but
I don't know. It is pretty cool, Trev. I have a bunch more of them up there, and then I don't know. I've been kind of buying. Oh yeah, I just got this. If you didn't catch Whack Live, I just got Majin Buu because I just read that saga, which was incredible. So good. If you don't like Majin Buu, you're not living life.
I have the big Voltron and the little baby Voltron, and that's it.
And you're just Voltron, no Power Rangers, right?
Yeah, no, screw that. I ain't no Power Rangers.
We get it. You have some big Dragon Balls. Yes, I do.
I'm no Power Rangers.
I'm Dragon Balls. Oh, nice. I also have the Goku lamp with him doing Spirit Bomb, and the orb is one of those electric touch things. Nice.
Gosh, I haven't seen Dragon Ball in forever.
God, it's the best. Like, it's funny because there was one saga of Dragon Ball Z I didn't love, but Dragon Ball Super has made me love that part of Dragon Ball Z more. I'd put like Dragon Ball was a 10 out of 10, all of it.
Right.
Dragon Ball Z was like a 10 out of 10, except for this one part, which was like a 7 or 8 out of 10. I'd say probably like 8. And then Dragon Ball Super started out pretty bad. I think it's like a 4 out of 10.
4 and 10.
Yeah, but this new saga, which they're about to have, there's 13 universes, and they're taking their 10 best fighters from every universe and fighting. This has been amazing. So I'm hoping it'll just keep getting better.
There you go. Are we getting Mark back? Because I'm bailing.
I don't know. I probably have to bail soon too. I was gonna bail around 11, and it is 11.
It is 11 because I have to go and start dropping off mail and doing errands.
We're going to be getting pumpkins today to paint pumpkins.
Yes,
I'm sure I need to do that as well, but I'm not gonna because.
Well, we're doing it with kids, Jim.
Yeah, you're doing it with kids. Yeah, but my wife was like, "Why don't we get a pumpkin?" When we were at the store, and I was like, "I'm not going to be here all weekend. I mean, if you want to get one, you're free to cut it up." But she's busy too. I don't know why she, And then it just sits there and nobody carves it. And last time we did that, she threw it in the backyard and just let it disintegrate. And damn if a damn. The next year, a pumpkin vine started coming up and growing, and it went.
Free pumpkins.
No, it never produced a pumpkin. I let it grow all the way along the fence line, and it never produced. I was like, I'm gonna get a free pumpkin. It's like, what the hell? I feel chipped. How did this not grow a pumpkin? So I don't know. I won't do that again. But
plant some more.
No. No. They're viney, man. Have you ever? I mean, they're all viney. They just go all the way across, and it's a pain in the butt.
Oh no, I've never planted one.
Yeah, I mean it's a big long vine, and it'll take over your whole backyard if you're not careful. But yeah, we didn't get a pumpkin, so whatever. But I have a nice above ground garden, and we try to do squash, and they're the same type thing. They get out of control too. So you have to be careful how you plant that. But anyway, all right, I'm gonna go.
Target this week.
I did not get any books this week because of what was. I know John likes Human Target. He's got them all. I didn't get any books.
So good.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to tell me I need to be reading it, or he's going to bring up stuff, and we'll probably swap out. But yeah, I missed my books this week. So, but yeah, I want to get that. What is it? Marvel Spotlight, issue 11, The Beast. Like before.
Gray Beast.
Pardon me?
Gray Beast.
Yeah, the Gray Beast. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only one I don't have. I have 12, 13, 14, 15, all the way through. And so that's probably going to be one I'm looking at. John is looking for this weird amalgam shit that you and him like. Strange Fate or something.
Mm-hmm.
He was asking if
he
thought. Yeah, well, I don't have it. And the comic book store, I doubt has it because they have a poor selection. Where did he say? Strange Fate and Starman issue 11. Because I think the writer and the artists are going to be there.
I think that's one thing that'd be fun to do to, like, as more opportunities arise to meet some of the creators from the 90s and stuff, is to take amalgam books to them. Mm-hmm. That's just such a fun series. And after seeing John Romita Jr.'s response when I put that one in front of him, like, these are the books like that they had obviously had fun on, and they don't get to see enough of anymore because people always bring these guys the same shit over and over.
Yeah,
they say the same thing over and over. Like, what are you really excited about that this artist did or that this writer worked on? What really hits you as a kid? And for me, with my childhood, it's in that era. So
right. Well,
that's super fun. Like the trading cards, the actual comics, like that was just super fun.
So Tom King, he said it's Tom King and Mitch Gerards because they're both going to be there. That's why he wanted to do it.
Mr. Miracle.
Yeah, I'd get Mr. Miracle for sure.
Strange Adventures.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull out my Mr. Miracle set that I bought the last
Bad
time.
Day, Riddler. I mean, those are ones that they both worked on together,
Yeah, like one of those.
Yeah, God, that book was next level.
Who
drew the WandaVision series that TK did?
I don't know. I've never read it.
And then the Omega Men is one that gets looked over pretty often. Tell you what, if you guys never read the Swamp Thing Winter Special that Tom King did, I'd ordered one, and I read it last night. Holy potatoes, that was good.
One shot?
Yes, sir.
All right.
For Pete's sake, ask Jim, is The Gray Beast and Amazing Adventures Volume 2?
Yeah, that's what I want. I think it's Amazing Adventures. I know it's one of those amazings. I got to go and find the other ones, and then that's what I'm going for is issue 11. Other than that, I don't really have any. I don't have anything. There's nothing I have to have. Like I had certain things I wanted when we met up at Heroes, but I'm a big print guy, so obviously I'm going to get some prints. There's certain artists that are going to be there that I like, so that'll definitely be on there.
Flashpoint Paradox was awesome.
So good.
You need to next, like the direct follow up to that is Suicide Squad: Hell to Pay. The R-rated animated film is the direct follow up to the Flashpoint Paradox.
Yeah, that I could sit and watch those over and over again as well.
Yeah, Hell to Pay.
Hop off
when it was. Yeah, I'm about to head out of here too. I'm gonna go. This is like my first real day since before C3 where I'm not just bombarded with stuff. Tuesday was just running around playing catch up.
Yep.
So I'm about to hop off here, do a shorter stream today, and go sit and hang out and read some books and get ready to go get Finn. I appreciate y'all hopping on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Hung out in the chat. If you haven't already, go see Black Adam.
Go see it.
Absolutely.
About that for a while to come. All right, guys, y'all take it easy. And since we brought him up, we'll end it with bam.
And you're welcome to come use one of the 8 easels we have set up for creating art here at the show for consideration for our art auctions on Saturday for our major auction at 8 p.m. at the Westin Ballroom. And the smaller auctions we'll have here on the convention floor on Sunday starting at noon.
That's a flash from the past.
So any artist that we have here, either